All right, everyone. Happy Thursday going on Friday. Hope you're having a great end of your week here at the beginning of January. Wow. Already plunking off the weeks of the new year. Hope you're having a great one so far. Sorry I'm a little bit late, but I was talking with a VIP. And for work. Anyway, let's get to it. Hope you're all having a good one. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Wincing, congrats on getting first. Mimi, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I sort of got my other camera fixed, but it's only a matter of time before it decides to stop working. So take that as you will. Happy long day. Is it a long day? Okay, so yeah, oh, my long day, yeah. But it was kind of cool. I got to talk to a former Secretary of the Navy. That was pretty neat. Very fascinating. Very kind of like intimidating. I think I only embarrassed myself a couple of times. Oh my goodness. I think, yeah. So I had forgotten Blades of Tonight. Blades of Tonight is dark. Blades in the Dark is tonight. So we're gonna be doing Blades in the Dark in about 45 minutes. Which means we're gonna start right away here with reading Bleach so that we can get at least something read. And then we'll do knitting. We'll do knitting and stuff while we're playing Blades in the Dark. So we haven't played Blades in the Dark for a few, it's been a while. I did play while I was on vacation, while I was in St. Louis, but obviously wasn't streaming that. So you missed the crabs and the clams, and I'll just leave it at that. There were crabs, there was a big crab, and there were a bunch of clams. So it was a hootenanny. So let's get to it. We got to read Bleach. We're on chapter 167. Again, we got to read this in like 45 minutes so that we can get to playing some Blades in the Dark. That's going to start at 45 minutes. So let me get recording here. And again, we'll do knitting while we're playing Blades. And that's going to be the rest of the evening. So that'll be like 2.5 hours of me doing tiny knitting while we're blading in the dark. So I'm going to get right to it, because this chapter ain't going to read itself. So here we go. Oh, I got to wait for the picture to clear. 10 seconds. 2, 1, okay. Here we go. All right, let's read chapter 167 of Bleach, The Burial Chamber. The previous chapter ended with this kind of very poetic clash between Byakuya and Ichigo. And we start here with like a petal falling. Miro, look. So I guess they're looking from afar here at the cliff there, and you can see the dissipation, I guess, of those wings with, I guess, again, like cherry blossom petals. Oh, okay. And we get the classic stance of the two samurai warriors having passed each other with their attack. Which one will be the one to erupt into blood and fall? I guess is the question. So we are splash page, the burial chamber. Uh-oh. And again, the black and the white do-do-dos. And Ichigo, no! Okay. That is Ichigo's outline. Is it also supposed to be kind of like Zangetsu? I don't know. That's his sword hitting the ground, or piercing the ground. I think that's body, or ba. More blood hitting the ground. Taorene will not fall, I guess. Yeah, will not fall. Okay, so he's leaning on his sword. He's got the sword in the ground. He's saying, I'm not going to fall down. Oh, Bun. Byakuya also erupts in blood. Gera. Gera is a little bit of like a sway, stagger. More blood hitting the ground. Zun. That's a sliding of the foot there, I guess. Okay, he's looking at his hand that's been cut. I guess we're getting a little bit of a flashback. This is when they were rushing at each other. Oh, his sword was scattering Byakuya's. Okay, so that was all in a flashback, the black background. So here we are. So does he not have his sword at all? Hard to tell. He may not have his sword at all. Maybe that is his right hand. It's cut and empty. That's what that's supposed to signify. Okay. Shiritagate ita na. Shiritagate ita na. So, wanted to know, right? So remember before they attacked, Ichigo said, I'll ask you one more time. Why didn't you try to save Kuchiki? And he had said, if you win, I'll tell you. So he's saying, you wanted to know, right? Watashi ga Urukia o korosu ryu wo. Me, the reason for killing Urukia. And like you wanted to know that reason. Tsumi aru mono wa sabakare neba naranu. Okay, so as for ones that have sin or guilt, they must sabaku, which is something about, judged. They must be judged. This is a double negative, so, and the passive. So, as for the ones that have guilt or sin, they must be judged. Kei ga tesureba shosare ne baranu. The punishment, when decided, I guess like execution had to be done. Yeah. Yeah, the penalty, the punishment, when decided, and again, shosuru is to execute, to manage, to deal with, to sentence, to condemn. Shoke themselves becomes the death penalty, a death sentence. Sore ga okite dakara da. That is okite. That's why. The law. That is the law, and that's why. Okite dakara korosu no ka yo. Because of the law, it's killing, so you'll kill because of the law. Gu. Teme no imoto demo, even your sister. So you'll killing because of the law, even your sister. Nikushi no jo ka kudaranu. Okay, so like emotion of flesh and blood. This is literally like meat kin. Niku shin. Yeah, blood relatives. So like emotion or sympathy for blood relatives or fleshkin. I like fleshkin. It's boring. It's kudaranu. It's down there. It's beneath me. Foolish, idiotic. None. That's all. What saying? What are you saying? Or like, what did you say? Okite ni ひすればあらゆる感情に価値などない。To the law, if doing a comparison to the law, all emotion value does not exist. Kanjo, is that sympathy? Yeah, no, all emotion. Arayuru is just like all. Yeah, okay, so in comparison to the law, all emotion, like value doesn't exist. So all emotions in comparison to the law have no value. Sonna kudaranu kanjo nado. That's sort of a idiotic, foolish, beneath me emotion and things like that. Moto yori mochiawasete wa oranu. From the beginning. Moto yori. Yeah. From the beginning, all along, as for mochiawasete, as for like combining. No, as for having on hand, like, will not do. Oranu. Or will not be. As for having on hand, more than the beginning or from the start, like emotion, those sort of like beneath me emotions from the start, as for having on hand, will not be. So I'm not going to be that. I don't have those sort of emotions in me from the very get-go. Waga kuchike wa yondai kizoku no ichi. I, or we, as for we of the Kuchiki family, one of the 4 great noble families, subete no shinigami no kihan o naraneba naranu sonzai. Oh, shinigami. Yeah, shinigami. Did I say kamigami? Shinigami. Kihan. Kihan, that's like a model or a standard or a role model, that type of thing. So it's an existence of needing to be a role model, the model, the standard for all Shinigami. Being of the house of the Kuchiki family. Warera ga okite o mamorazu shite. We, I guess, like not protecting the law. We not protecting the law. Dare ga okite o mamoru toyu no da. Who, the thing of who being protecting the law. So in other words, basically, if we're not protecting the law, then who is protecting the law? It's that sort of a thing. That's why. Warui, sorry. Yappari ore ni wa wakaranei ya. As I thought, as for to me, not understanding. So sorry, but I just don't get it. Ore ga moshi anta no tachiba datta toshite mo. Me, if we're in your standing place, even if I were in your standing place, even if I were in your position. Yappari ore wa okite to tatakao to omou. As I thought, as for me, I think I would be fighting the law. I would be fighting with the law. Okay, and we get this flashback. You can see again the black border, the flashback. He is, what is that guy's name? This is the guy that Kuchiki kills, right? Soka. Is it that way? I see. Soka. Cayenne. Yes, thank you. Cayenne Dono. Lord Cayenne. So, very, very purposeful parallel there, right? Soka. Is it that way? Koyatsu no teki wa saisho kara watashi nado de wa nakatta. So this is Byakuya. Hey, chicken, by the way. As for the enemy of that guy, as for his enemy, from the very beginning, me and whatever wasn't. It wasn't me. As for the enemy of that guy, it wasn't me from the very beginning. Koyatsu wa saisho kara kono Soul Society no okite sonomono to tatakatte ita no da. As for that guy, from the start, from the beginning, this Soul Society's laws itself, the laws themselves, with that was fighting. So that guy from the very start was fighting with the laws of Soul Society themselves. Niteru, resembling. Resembling, meaning he's resembling. I mean, he just says niteru, which means to resemble something. He doesn't say what, but it's implied. Sono honposa ga utomashikatta ano otoko ni. To that man, so resembling to that man, that all this stuff that I don't know. Sono honpo. Honpo. Wild, uninhibited, extravagant. So that extravagance, that wildness, uto mashi, and that just disagreeable, unpleasant man. So resembling that disagreeable, extravagant man, wild man. Kurosaki Ichigo, watashi no katana wa. Kurosaki Ichigo, as for my katana, as for my sword, Kisama no sono honposa ni kudakareta. Your ferociousness, your wildness, your extravagance, by that has been destroyed, has been crushed. So my sword has been crushed by your wildness. Za. We got to get flashback in here of Cayenne. Watashi wa mohaya rukia o owanu. As for me, no longer will pursue rukia. Za. Kono shobu kei no kachi da. This match, this contest, is your victory. And notice again, he calls it K. He calls him K, which is that big brother. This match is your victory. Kei no kachi da. And we get a view of the gallows here. Zun. He did it. Katta? One? Katta zo. Like, it's like question mark and then like exclaim, like, I won. Katta zo, I won. Goo. And I guess that's him grabbing his sword or whatever. Ore no kachi da! It's my victory! So everyone drink. Adra. Ore no kachi da. Gunya. Ah! Yabe! Tatte no genkai da! ore. So Gunya is kind of like, and then he's like, oh, gura, again, like swaying. Oh no, this is no good. Standing limit it is. Like I'm at the limit of standing me. Standing limit me. So, yabe. Gosan. No. Gochin. Aita. Oof. Okay, so he falls back onto Orihime. Gomen ne, Kurosaki-kun. Daijoubu? Sorry, Kurosaki, are you okay? Oh, of course, so he smacked his head into like her skull. Atashi ishiatama de gomen ne. Me with the stone head, I'm sorry. She's like, I got a head like stone, I'm sorry. So he's all in pain because uketomeyo to shitan dakedo. Uketomeyo, like tried to receive and stop, did, but so that's Orihime again. Like I tried to break your fall. Uketome. Yeah, catch the blow, react, catch. I tried to do that, but Inoue. Indeed. Nanda. This is Ishida. Nanda, like what's going on? Or what? Chimamire no wari ni igai to genki so janai ka? Kurosaki? Okay, so what's this? I think this is like being covered in blood. Mamire. Yeah, blood-stained, bloody, and wari ni comparatively blood-stained, unexpectedly seeming to be robust or energetic, isn't it that? So you're seeming to be unexpectedly energetic, being comparatively covered in blood, aren't you? Kurosaki. Za. Ishida. Chaddo. Ishida, Chad. Ganju. Dareda. And who? Iya, isu yo. Ore wa mushi shite kurete. Well, I'm Isu, you know. Oh no, that's not his name. He said, I'm just fine. Well, like whatever. As for me, do ignoring. Just do the favor of ignoring me. Yeah, Isu is not his name. He's saying it's I desu. Like, it's fine. As for me, please do ignoring. Yeah. Mina buji dattan da na. Everyone safe weren't you? So you were all safe, weren't you? Yokatta. I'm glad. Buji de wa nai kedo ne. Well, as for being safe, it's not existing, you know. So we're not safe, but Kimi no yarare puri ni kurabereba mina mukizu mitai na mon sa. Okay. Your appearance of being done in if doing comparison, so if compared to like your state of being done in, everyone unwounded, it seems, it's that thing. So everyone seems pretty unwounded compared to like how bad you look. Inoue wa, as for Inoue, kega ne ka, wounds don't exist, like you're not wounded. Atashi nante zenzen. Huh? Me or whatever, it's not at all. Like, completely fine. Atashi nante zenzen yaku ni tatte nai no ni. me or whatever, even though I was completely not helpful, Ishida-kun ga mamotte kuretari, hoka no shinigami-san ga mamotte kuretari shite. Ishida-kun was the one that did the favor of protecting, and other shinigamis did the favor of protecting. So basically, I didn't do anything. Ishida-kun protected me, and other shinigami protected me. Zaraki-san to ka onbu shite kuretari shite. And Mr. Zaraki. Oh, onbu. Onbu is a piggyback ride. Yeah, carrying on one's back. And Mr. Zaraki did the favor of like giving me a piggyback ride. Dakara zenzen. So that's why, like, not at all, like I wasn't doing it. Zenzen abunaku nanka nakute. Not at all in danger becoming. Like I wasn't in any danger at all. Tada here is just like, just, she's glad that he's alive, right? Tada, Kurosaki-kun no koto ga zutto shinpai datta dake de. Yes. Just things about Kurosaki-kun continuously did worrying. It was just that. So I was just always worried about you, Kurosaki-kun. Gomen ne, Kurosaki-kun. Motte agerare nakute. So I'm sorry, Kurosaki, for not doing the favor of being able to protect. I'm sorry that I couldn't protect you. Arigato, Kurosaki-kun. Thank you, Kurosaki-kun. Ikitete kurete. For living. Thank you for living. Staying alive. Thank you for doing the favor of living. Kurosaki-kun ga buji de yokatta. So Kurosaki-kun being safe, being okay, I'm glad. Okay. Arigato, Inoue. Thank you, Inoue. Okay, we appear to be switching things here. Chuo Yonju. This is like Central 40. There's some organization that's like Central 40 something, whatever. Okay. Steps, lots of doors. Central 46. Okay, thank you. Ananda, koitsu wa. What is it? As for this thing, douyou koto da? What is the meaning of, how is this thing? What's happened? What is the meaning of this? Okay. Yeah, there we go. Chuo Yonju Rokushitsu ga, the central room 66, Zenmetsu. Completely destroyed, completely annihilated. Yeah, R.I.P. Holy crap. They are all dead. All with like neck ruptures. Vampires. Clearly vampires. Okay, we're not going to worry about the kanji. We can maybe look at that later. Oh, well, that's the end of the chapter. Let's go ahead and look at the kanji now, because how often do we have a Bleach chapter that actually ends less than half an hour? Okay, let's look at this one first. That'll be easier to draw. Okay, I didn't draw it that poorly. I wonder... I mean, it really should be this way. Oh, wait a minute. Is that actually this? Maybe that's it. That would have put me behind a stroke. No. I don't know what that's supposed to be. What else could that be? The other, oops. The other option, it's the stupid first one. I can't tell exactly how it's trying. It could also be Tsuchi with that. I don't think it's that. That seems really weird. The rest of this is straightforward. This is east and this is moon. It's that first frickin' one. Well, that doesn't seem to be it either. Anyone know? Anyone know what this thing up here is supposed to be? Actually, you know what we can do? We can look at JDick. In case you're ever like stuck like this, like I am, I go to something like JDick where you can look up the subradicals. So what we would do here is we'd look up Getsu, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 strokes. So that's here. And we would look up, oh, we probably want that. But you still have to make, well, you can try to find, but if there's too many, okay, we do get something here. We see anything that's close. I don't see anything. Oops. Okay, so the other option is it's probably, oh, what else could we do? I don't think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is not a radical in and of itself. Yeah. This is a tough one to find. It's also possible that this is like a Chinese kanji that it doesn't get any usage in Japanese. But it's really hard to tell. I'm not seeing anything that's like remotely close, which is a bit unusual. Actually, so another thing we could do to double check is if we were to look up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I were to use that radical and look up 8, do we get higashi? We do. So this one, that is one of the subradicals, and it does pop up with this selected. So we really should see it if we're selecting, oops, I still have the count in there. We should see this kanji pop up with moon and field selected, and we're not seeing it. So this is not in the sort of Japanese kanji database as far as I can tell. So it is either a Hanzi Chinese character or something. Let's go ahead then and try to look up this one. We may have similar luck here. Either that or there's some, no, those two are pretty clear. Those two are pretty clear. That one still could go a number of ways. Let's go back to this. And see, this is weird too, because it looks like that, but that's really unusual. You don't see that very often. You don't see any of these very often, and you typically don't see this kanji under this thing. So, okay. So two not common kanji. And we can try looking up here again. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think we're going to see that as a radical. No. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not going to see that as a radical either. We'll probably see the cross. I don't even know what to pull out of this. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. See anything that looks remotely like that? No. Okay. Well, there you go. If you know what they are, put them in the comments or something. Again, likely to be more Chinese-based kanji characters. But there we go. Zenmetsu, complete annihilation. That is the end of the chapter. That is the end of the chapter. let's see what we got here with respect to the art, or the little story here at the end. Remember, the soul ball plopped into this guy's mouth. Yosha! Haha, alright. Got myself a new body. How do you like it? Oh boy. Now you jerks had better watch out with these boring but somehow popular with the ladies looks of mine. I'm gonna dominate with the world, with the women of Bleach World. Okay? Next time, Mr. Kon's Erotic Soul Society conquest will begin. Coming soon. To be continued, Tsutsuku. Alright. Well, anyway. Next up will be, I think, the last chapter of Volume 19. Behind me, behind you. We'll see what that's about next time. All right. Good timing. Good timing. We can switch over to Blades in the Dark. Oops. Oh, when did I stop recording? I hope I... Boy.
Oh, ha, 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 ha.
When did I stop recording? Some of the loose ends will start coming together now. Yeah. That'll be good. Although, right at this point, like, remember all that stuff that happened at the beginning? No. All that set up with, like, Ichigo's mother's killer and, like, all that stuff. Like, that's like, what? All the things about hollows, like, who? What? All the high school friends, who? Had a hard enough time remembering who they were before we hadn't seen them for 12 books. Okay. Oh. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. I'm looking for my Zoom link. Hey, Corin. Happy Thursday. How you doing? How goes? Hey, bathroom is officially done. My bathroom is officially done. The inspector came today. It took like literally 2 minutes. And I mean that literally. Not like the literally where people don't use it correctly, but literally 2 minutes. Yeah, I know. Toilet time. We can finally poop. It's been a long time. Been a long time holding that poop. Okay. Did I miss the Zoom link? There's only going to be 3 of us playing. It's kind of funny. The last few times have been a little bit thinner, but it's been different people. So Jenna and Greg are back. Jenna and Greg have been on vacation or been out the last couple of times, and now it's like it's everyone else is out and they're back. So we're gonna switch. Excuse me. We're gonna switch over. We're gonna be doing some knitting, and we're gonna be playing Blades in the Dark. So, in case you haven't seen it, Blades in the Dark is the Dungeons and Dragons style game. We're just gonna be chilling out doing that for the next bit. You guys haven't seen the latest news. So I played a game of while I was in St. Louis, and the latest plot development is that our new Datu has been arrested. They arrested our new Datu. Oops. The Kielbasagon. I know. Like, what? Okay, that is not my camera. That is my camera. Yeah, so what's been going on lately? I got to, again, oh, there's the Zoom link. Oh, but he's late too. um, so I got to speak with a former Secretary of the Navy, which is kind of cool. We talked for about an hour about AI stuff. That was fun. He's writing up a kind of a broader, higher level thought piece on kind of the urgency and trying to look at the sort of near term developments that might necessitate some more urgent action. That was kind of cool. Tomorrow I go over to some place and we record a podcast on the drone ultimatum. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I record a podcast on the drone ultimatum. Wait a minute. I didn't mean to hit laugh. That's fine. I have no idea what we're talking about. They emailed me and they're like, hey, we caught your interview with this guy that I did an interview with like years ago. And like, we thought it'd be cool if we could have you on the podcast and talk. I'm like, okay. It's called the drone ultimatum. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. They've sent me zero information. Is this the thing dealing with the Italian journalist? I don't think so. Although I can tell you she was arrested in Iran because Italy arrested a guy on mandate of the US that was dealing with drones. Oh, I have no idea. Maybe we'll talk about that. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I mean, I'm not like a super drone expert. I think if anything, we'll be talking about like my perspective of how the Department of Defense and the US government is doing and managing with like emerging technology of things like drones. She was released yesterday. I doubt it. We set this up back in December, so it's more of a general broad topic. Like, and I'm not. I have a colleague who speaks Russian and is very knowledgeable on kind of like the Ukraine Russia conflict and where like drones are. He's very specifically focused on like the drone evolution of combat in that particular conflict. Like, we're not going to get to that level of detail either. I can talk very generically about the topic and its impact and what it bodes and things like that. But I'm not going to be talking about like, yeah, the Q9 blah, blah, blah is doing yada, yada, and the SP whatever. Like, no. I don't know that level of crap. What would... I don't know what's going to work on the camera here. All right. Well, in the meantime, let me change over my stream info here. Arrested Blades in the dark with alien sock knitting. There you go. That sounds about normal, right? What category should I use for this? Did we ever figure that out? Like Dungeons and Dragons, can I just use that category? There's 2 Dungeons and Dragons like subjects. Oh, whatever. I don't care. I doubt we're gonna get a lot of people joining because this is Dungeons and Dragons. Arrested. So, okay, can I show this without like revealing anything horrible? Yes. Okay. So oh, wait a minute. The restream panel, right? I've shown this before, right? It lets me have like, here's YouTube, here's Twitch. They put this little like restream logo on, this is the restream interface, but it doesn't appear anywhere else. Maybe that's because I'm only on the free plan that lets you do two channels for free. Like if I wanted to also do Kick or Facebook or anything else, 3 or more, I would start to need to pay. But I don't know. They rebrand this, I guess, for Restream, but it's not there on YouTube or Twitch. Kind of weird. By the way, it doesn't look like it, but we backslid. We're at 948, so we have now 2 to go. 2 follows to go to hit our goal. So it'll be a while, is what I'm saying. We're in our usual like 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of mode. Oops. Let me get off that screen. No. All right, well, let's start knitting. Well, Chris said he was behind a little bit. I don't know if I should play some music too. Might be a little bit too much. I'll keep it soft. Soft. Oh, right. I was in the middle of a row. Well, last I saw, we're possibly going to get more snow this weekend. Maybe just like an inch down here. I don't know, chicken about you if you're, what they're forecasting up your way. But it's like Friday night, Saturday morning. They're thinking about an inch. What sucks here is, here's the snow. Right here, right at this time, I've got a tattoo appointment. I've got a tattoo appointment in DC. So hopefully it's not going to be too bad. It'll be a Saturday morning at 9. Shouldn't be too bad. Fingers crossed. This has been a really weird week. For a lot of people, this is coming back from extended out time. Sunday night, Monday morning was a big snowstorm, like 8 inches. Tuesday, so Monday was largely like slow, shut down. Tuesday was still pretty slow because a lot of places still weren't cleaned out very well. Wednesday, normal. Thursday, today, has been a day, it's a federal day off. It's Jimmy Carter, day of mourning, all that stuff. And then now it's like, and now there's Friday. Now there's today. And snow tomorrow night. Like, oh boy. This is a quite the rocky start to the year. Where do we want to put our friends? Oh, you know what? Maybe we can put them down here. Oh. Oh. Hello. Hello.
Nice.
All right. Hello.
Oh, I got you a lot of echo, Jenna. And hey, Dave.
No. How about now? Or...
I think that's better. Yep. Right. Can you hear me okay? It's cold in this room. I've got the heater on, and I want to make sure it's not, creating some background noise.
I hear you good.
All right. Great. Good. How was everyone's holidays?
Short.
Yeah, for sure. How about yourselves? Greg, Jenna? Did you go back to England?
We went back to England in November because my aunt got married.
Oh, that's right. So you didn't go back again for Christmas?
No.
No, we were in North Carolina with my mom.
Okay.
for Christmas. We all got COVID on Christmas Day, so that was great.
No, everyone but me got COVID on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's.
I'm the one who got COVID slightly before Christmas Day and gave it to everyone else.
Oh, well done. Well done.
We are still trying to work out how that happened, given I wasn't exposed to anyone Greg wasn't, but... And of course, I am the horrible, horrible person who got COVID and sneezed for 48 hours, so...
Yeah.
And everyone else got actually sick, so I'm the horrible, horrible patient zero.
Bravo. Good job there.
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. Well, I think Mike said he wanted to come, but last minute he said work is being annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he'll be expecting if we see him.
All right. Hopefully he can make it. Cool. And yeah, and I think everyone else, unfortunately, Tim is flying. So he can't make it. James said he's got he's got work, he can't make it. I spoke with Nolan at work today. Ati is still trapped in the ghost field, watching the Notre Dame game tonight. So I was like, "You sure you wouldn't rather play Dagger Isles?" He's like, "No." But that's
You'd rather be trapped in the ghost field than...
Yeah, exactly. It's like, fine, you get trapped in the ghost field with Notre Dame. See how that works out for you. We'll work that. But Dave, glad you can join.
Good to be here.
Right. Cool. Okay, so this will be interesting if we've got one on the outside and two.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate.
I was expecting a bit of a bigger rescue party.
And no offense, Dave, but Kentaro is like the worst rescuer that you probably would want.
We are going to have to rescue ourselves, aren't we?
Maybe, yeah. So we'll figure out how all that works. But Kentaro does have his skills, so he might be able to come up with something devious on the outside as well. It should be very, very interesting. I was hoping for a bit more chaos and blowing up, but hey,
Yeah, I could use chaos and blowing up right now.
always.
Yeah.
I'm in a chaos and blowing up mood.
Good. All right. Well, we can get to that. So why don't we get into it? So I gave the update over email, which I had laid out before in the last session. But essentially, while the rest of the crew was out collecting the Mohamara clam from the sea caves, Zalmin and Mahia, along with Lalisa, your sister. I think I had mentioned this before, but I can't tell because Lalisa has been a character in my mind for a while, but I feel like there's been a couple of times where I went to introduce her and you weren't online. So, so I'm not sure how much came out of my brain. You think so? You've heard of her or not heard of her?
I think that most of it happened when we were not around.
Okay, so most of it is happening in my brain in that case. So Lalisa is your sister, right? She can be older sister or younger sister. I'll leave that up to you. But she is the one of your generation who the family has decided will be the next Datu. She has the combination of great ambition, talent, a bit of daring do for her age, and also she's young enough that she is just willing to be married to Susi Tibar, the god beast, in exchange for whatever glories that might bring for your family. So she's within a couple years of you guys, but do you think she's older or younger than you?
I was thinking older, but when you mentioned that your sort of last sentence there changed my mind, and now I think younger.
All right. So she can be married off as a sacrifice and be the leader that way. All right, so that works. So Lalisa is she may be young, but she is very dynamic and a quick study. She especially has been very close to your Datu the past couple of years. She is of kind of slight stature, not weak, but just
I got told a size she didn't. Got it.
Right, you got the size. She didn't. Right. And she is rather striking. Looking. Of course, she's got to be. NPCs should definitely be beautiful if they're good NPCs for the most part. Right. She's got hair that's in braids. It's kind of like blue and white braids. Mixed in with her naturally dark colored hair, dark eyes, kind of golden complexion, wears in the typical Lahanian fashion, brightly colored, flowing robes, typically. All right. So she has spent a lot of time over the past couple of years, kind of being groomed by family leadership and the Datu to learn the sorts of things that a leader would need. So if she's younger than you, we'll probably say like late teens, maybe close to 20, I think. So a young woman by any stretch. And she's been studying to be the leader. So she kind of knows what's going on, and has been involved in all of those decisions. On the night, just so happened when the rest of the crew was out, harvesting the clams, there was a meeting of the family at the Datu's home. She is bedridden at this point. But the inner circle consists of you three sisters, a couple uncles and aunts, a couple other cousins. Not a huge crowd, but that evening there was a ruckus outside as the Imperial Gendarmerie escorted members of the Kabasagan clan up to the door. It was very clear that you're being put under arrest, though in the very traditional way. The Imperials didn't get involved physically; they just kind of let the diplomacy, play out. So, under threat of violence, and the Datu and Lalisa decided that this was not the time to shed blood here, because it would not have ended well for you. But they were clear that because of the current instability in town, their ongoing gang war with the 8 Cords, these interlopers from other parts of Lan Laban, causing the problems and other unpleasantness. They do not directly name you, but that is kind of understood. That it is better for a young woman such as Lalisa to come into our protection for a while, and so she is invited with under penalty of of violence, to join the Kabasagan, at their compound. You two are also brought along. All right. And so you're sort of left, with this power vacuum, as the three of you are escorted away to their home. The rest of the family was trying to figure out what they're going to do now, because the ritual has to be conducted very, very shortly. So we're going to pause right there before we get to the compound or anything else, because we do have a downtime to adjust, right? We'll kind of retcon this and pretend you don't know that you're getting arrested. But everyone else got a downtime before. We should start with a downtime this time. So do you guys have some, and you've also been cheated out of downtime before. So what would you like to do for downtime as we get into into this?
I still have healing to do.
As do
do.
I. Still a little battered from past violence.
Okay. All right. And you have an apothecary, which I believe helps with healing.
Yeah.
Here, let me just make sure. I think it gives you an extra die.
Since first I saw your face, I resolved to honor and renown ye.
Okay, so you're gonna heal.
Now I be
I think we both need to heal.
Yes. All right. There we go. Here's the apothecary. The apothecary will give you.
Shall we begin to wrangle? No, no, my
Plus 1d to healing treatment, right? So that will be good. So I think let's see. Even though, all right. So I think that will give you a.
We'll be right back.
Did Tim take the physiker? He did not take the physiker. I think you do have.
I have the physical as I have the physical ally.
Oh, you have the physical. Okay, great.
Yes, that's me.
Great. So what is your tinker skill?
My tinker is non-existent.
Ah, okay, but you do have the physiker skill.
Yes.
Okay.
A physical ally, but I do not have any tinker.
All right. So I think let's see. Contorted had acquired a physiker previously at that would be like tier 1 for plus D. So you could probably use that physiker to help heal yourselves up. What were you saying, Greg?
I was gonna say, I think the allies have a skill equal to our tier.
I'm sorry, there was a lot of echo. I didn't hear. Let's see.
I said I think the I think the ally has a skill equal to our tier.
Yes. Yeah, that's correct. So you guys are tier 1 now, and then you would get plus 1d. So you'd 2 and choose the best one, as opposed to taking just 1d if Zalmin were to do it herself.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So each of you do your heal roll.
6.
2 5s.
Okay. So a 6, I think, will heal you 3. Or no, 6 heals you 2, and then 5 heals you 1.
And that takes care of my bruised condition.
I
Okay.
still have 1 tick of healing to do, so I'm going to do another.
Yes. I'm going to do another one too, because I also have my second wound.
Okay.
And that's another 6. So that's 2.
Uh-huh.
And I get a 6 this time, so I'm healed.
All right. Good. So, Greg, did you heal up as well?
No, I still have 1 box on my Drawn to Fairy left.
Okay. Hey, and actually, the recover 6 gives you 3 segments.
Oh, then yes.
Yeah. 4 5 gives you 2, and then.
Oh, in that case, I didn't need to do the second heal.
Fair enough. Okay.
So I would kind of like to train playbook instead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So, does healing my level 2 harm remove it, or does it reduce it to a level 1? I forget.
Reduces it to level 1.
Okay.
Yeah. A crit would give you 5 segments. All right. So, so Zalmin did a recover and a train. Mahia did a recover, and did you do a second recover?
Yes, I did 2 recovers.
Hey, Bench Bear.
All right, cool.
How's it going?
All right.
Yeah, we're playing some Blades in the Dark.
Pintaru.
Hope you're doing well. Oh, sorry. I was trying to run around. The last game we played, I had my other laptop, so I've now got like notes on my character across 2 computers, and
Yeah.
I think
I need to consolidate all my notes over break. Instead, I just created more notes.
yeah. I think I'm at a relatively high stress level, so I'm going to attempt to stress reduce.
All right. So you will indulge your vice.
Yeah, I'll just go with some extra special tea, shall we say, at the tea house. That's the usual. Maybe with some added things on the side that will be best left unsaid.
Excellent. Sounds all right. So go ahead. What is your weakest quality of the insight, prowess, resolve?
I don't know. Let's see.
Any pips in prowess?
Oh, there's some that I have like none.
Okay. So if you don't have anything in finesse or prowl or skirmish or wreck, then you're still gonna roll 2 dice and take the lower one for
Okay.
dice.
But that means like if I have one that has nothing in it, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So we want 2d6.
Yep, 2d6 and take the lower.
Oops. Okay, I got a 6. Sorry, I installed a d6 roller on Twitch here.
All right.
Wait a minute. Did I really just get 2 6s?
What's the quality of your D roller? I mean that could be if that's the case.
Hold on. Let me make sure that every time I roll a d6 it's not a 6. Okay, no, I got a 5. So that was a legit 2 6s.
There you go. All right. Yeah, you never know how the seed of those random rollers works.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So if it's 2 6s, that means that you get one. Yeah. You can't crit if you've got that, but you choose your favorite 6 and you reduce your stress by 6.
Okay. All right. I guess I get another downtime. Let me just say I'm going to train something and I'll figure out what that is later.
Okay. Sounds good. You get 2 prowess XP if you train in prowess, and since that's the quality that's in thrall to your vice,
Yeah.
You you might want to practice stabbing things or punching things or
Okay.
blowing something up. Yeah, that'll be good.
All right. Well, that's
Great.
it for me then.
Okay. All right. Moving into the story. So the Kabasagan bring you you walk out of you leave the Datu's home, you come out, you are forced to surrender any obvious weapons or any equipment, although you're not like strip searched or anything, at least not until you arrive at the compound. The Kabasagan compound is a large complex of a couple of different buildings. It's set in a essentially a bayou that's just inland a bit from the sea. So as you kind of walk, make it on foot, across town to the location, but then you are seated in boats, and a couple of boats are poled across the water, and you can see that the area around there is you can see buildings that are lit by torches and primarily, but a little bit of sparkcraft, as well here and there throughout the compound. And the bayou looks similar to what's in Jenna's background there. Some trees, flat area, but it's been a lot of the trees have been cleared, so there is quite a stretch of space of open water, and their compound is really impressive to behold as you get up there. It's a number of teak homes that are up on pilings above the water, very fine wood craftsmanship, wooden panels along the sides, some thatched roofs, and you can tell that it's been that a lot of money has been put into this. The main building that you are being escorted to appears to be a greeting hall of some sort. And as you get closer, you can see that there's you pass a bit of a berm, in the middle of the bayou, so that there's even though you're going across the water, there's a break so that you can't access the building conveniently at all sides from by boats. You notice some guards that are stationed along the way on the land break, the island that kind of surrounds the compound. And as you get closer, you can see a larger complex behind them, and it looks like that is set on land. So there must be some sort of small island in the middle of this bayou, even though the closer buildings are up on pylons in the water. As you make your way, up to the welcoming vestibule through under the moonlight, you pull up on a small dock. You come up, and the entranceway is clearly ornate, used to welcoming guests of all kinds. And there's a couple of entrances on on either side. Wood floors, nice rugs, some silk tapestries, on the sides, colorful Lan Laban style decorations, but there's also some strong imperial influences here. You notice some of the furniture along the sides that is not daggerite in nature, reflects some of the trends that you might find in the Imperial City or Duskfall. There are additional guards in this welcoming area, just kind of standing by, casual like, but they they greet you here. And at this point, a woman steps forward and she says, Lalisa, my dear, welcome. And she uses some phrasing that again shows her imperial influence, although she is Daggerite. She says, "My name is Lady Muraig, and I am and I welcome you to the Kabasagan home. We hope that your stay here will be pleasant, and we look forward to working with you and teaching you some of the modern ways that a young up and coming lady such as yourself should be aware of." And she says, your sisters will also be instructed in the ways of how to attend to a lady such as yourself, since they will have that important position. So at this point, your options are still pretty slim, but the important thing is that they separate you two from Lalisa, right? So after some rigmarole, at this point, everyone is searched, right? So anything that you have, you don't have. Lalisa is escorted away to the left as you come in, and you can see there that that's kind of an ornate dining hall. You can't fully see where it is because you two are escorted to the right, which is clearly more of the servants, entrance to the compound, right? So you're brought in there, and once you get into private, semi-private, you are made to remove all of your clothing. You're given fresh clothing, which is kind of plain-ish, yet loose-fitting floral kind of muumuu type dresses, very very similar to what the other there's an upstairs downstairs effect here. So the other servants are dressed similarly. They're helping you into your new clothes, and anything that you had with you is taken away. You guys are escorted up to a dormitory. There are a bunch of other men and women around here similarly dressed. You recognize that these are Daggerites from your same town, largely from families that don't have a name, that don't have much standing. They're kind of like brought here to learn how to learn imperial ways, to wait on the Kabasagan. It's sort of the quasi-feudal arrangement that they've got here. And in this kind of dormitory, they put you two in different rooms, and that's where you're going to spend the evening, at least as we get started up. But that is you're welcome to the Kabasagan compound, where you are very clearly under house arrest. All right. So I'll pause there after an introduction and just kind of I'll let you guys think about that. But in the meantime, Kentaro, what do you think you would do in the absence of
anybody?
You two and your leaders? Yes, exactly. You've got the rest of the family is there, and they're sort of discussing that they need to get Lalisa out as quickly as possible. But some of the crew is missing. Ati is still lost in the ghost field. We don't know where Listen and Isagani are. I guess there's been some chaos as well, so they're delayed. But they're kind of a bit at a loss, and the Datu is unconscious at the moment. So
right.
Kintaro, what are your thoughts?
Well, in absence of any, it's not clear, I guess, at this point that we know any amount of details. So Kentaro is going to be trying to figure out what he can find about where everyone would have been taken, where's the most likely place, and what information he can get on just anything about that. I mean, anything from maps and locations to purpose and whatever. So just to get a sense of where, what's the magnitude of what we're looking at, and just any information gathering on kind of where everyone might be.
Yeah. So you would know pretty well. You'd have high confidence that they've been taken. Probably the Basagan even told you that they're, you know, that these three are being brought into their compound. It's pretty common practice, you know, in the Dagger Isles. So you know where they are.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you're familiar with the location itself. You probably haven't been there because you didn't grow up kind of in this town, but you know of it. You kind of know exactly what happens, and you know, it wouldn't be too hard to get some kind of some information about it when you want to.
Okay. So
But yeah.
I'll presume that Pintado is able to figure out that this has an aspect of the Imperial training camp to it, meaning that there is some amount of flow of the populace to this place.
Yeah, so you would know that the Imperials rule kind of with it's a pretty light touch here, right? As long as the spice flows, the Imperials are happy, and they are very happy to just let the Daggerites deal with Daggerites. So even though it's under, you know, Imperial rule, as long as the Kabasagan are kind of doing their bidding, and keeping everything running, they're just concerned, like, let the locals deal with it. So the Kabasagan are seen as kind of the clan that runs things in this town. So the Imperials are going to back them. The Kabasagan themselves are, you know, they've been in power for a while. They like the wealth and the prestige that their position brings. They've been imperialized a bit, you know, so they're a Daggerite family, but they've picked up a lot of the imperial ways, the imperial dress, imperial speech, right? So they are very much the puppets of the colonizers here, you know, eager to serve them. So
okay,
yeah, so that's kind of what you're looking at.
So I guess, like, given all that, Cantado is going to try to be focusing on getting a sense of what he might be able to help sneak into the compound. That is, from the sense of, like, weapons, armaments, whatever it is, or potentially to sneak out. But with the idea that if push comes to shove, this is a get stuff in there, and help the people inside fight their way up.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So that's a good approach. All right. So how about this? Let's say, let me take a look at your.
And that could be either like large caches, that could be like small things. I don't even know what's in the art of the possible. You know, there could be a way to, like, sneak small notes, or small, you know, tools that might be useful to the folks inside. It's going to be that level of whatever, and happy to use flashbacks to get the right items there.
Yeah. I think that is probably flashbacks. A good idea. All right. So all right. Why don't we let's see. Why don't you give me a see, how do you want to go about trying to find some sort of access to this compound, right? You've got your contacts, you've got your various skill sets.
So I guess it depends on, like, there's going to be, I think, generally two avenues. There's going to be people themselves that are potentially traveling back and forth, but it may not be a frequent thing. I just don't have a sense of that. If it's not frequent, then that's going to be less of an issue, or less of an option. If instead there's people, like, sort of lower level people that are responsible for the logistics of getting the people in and out, kind of like figuring out who those are and co-opting them.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see.
And that would be all sway, I guess.
Yeah, let's see. Well, it could be. how about this? Why don't you give me a consort role as you kind of go around and see what kind of contact you can dig up first, and then we'll see how you want to approach it.
Okay. I think that's 2d6. Let me see. That's not good. 1 and oh wait. There's a cooldown. I need to not use this thing. 1 and a 5.
1 and a 5. Okay, five works, right? So it'll be what I'll do is it'll be someone who uh knows how to get in, right? But they're gonna take some convincing to get in. So this could be let's go with someone who has some regular business with the Kabasagan. Do you have a let's see, we'll say it's someone who, let's see, I literally wrote down a list of names tonight because I'm always scrambling for names and now I can't find it. This is why I'm going to make a DM screen at some point.
Hello there.
Okay. And let's see what faction might this person be attached to. One sec. Let's pull up the faction sheet.
I think there's generally 2 points of leverage here. One is either figuring out if they have any sort of grudge to help scratch, itch type of thing, or if there's anything they're just looking for from compensation standpoint.
Right.
I mean, if they've hired a Daggerite to do this, they may be kind of just like everyone else, like doing it because they need a living type of thing. So maybe they're willing to be subversive here with a little bit of kickback or something, or who knows.
Okay. Well, okay, let's say here we go. Okay. That you've got a guy. Let's say you're not gonna get much love from the Kabasagan, but you got a okay, how about this? One of your contacts, Kentaro, is a Imperial platoon commander, right? So I think that would account for the 5. So someone who's got a bit of sway, but you're not necessarily like in very good graces with him, but yeah. he's not he himself is not against you, right? So I'll say that's the contact that you have managed to dig up, because you know that he would have some business going back and forth here.
All right.
So what do you think your approach to him is? And his name is Bayani.
Bayani. What are the chances?
He's Daggerite, but he's enlisted with the Imperials.
What are the chances that we met at the tea house and then we're both avid tea drinkers?
Hey, I think that can work. All right.
All right. So either I can fabricate a time to have some tea or something like that, or I can simply bring up conversation about trying to have some friends that I want to be able to make some connections with that are a little bit in a difficult spot right now and a little bit hard for me to get to, but there might be some option for me to track down some rare tea and share that if you're able to help me make these connections. So that type of approach, I think.
Okay. He's like, yeah, I do go to that compound. I work with them a bit. What exactly what do you want to get to them? Are you looking to send them a message? Uh,
Well, yeah, I first I just want to make sure they're okay. I just know they were taken, and it was all under, security pretext, and I'm sure they're fine, but I'd like to have some assurance. I'm not allowed to go visit myself for security concerns, so I would like to first just make sure they're doing okay, and then maybe if necessary, send them some food or something that might, I don't know what they're going to need, but just mostly want to first make sure they're okay and that we might be able to find a way to make a connection.
yeah, I think why don't you give me a sway to see how successful this is and what he might be willing to do on
Okay.
your account. It's like, yeah, I go there. I can probably, look in on them, ask a couple of questions.
Sorry, I can't tell anything anymore. Um, 115.
Five. That's not too bad. All right. So he's like, look, all right, so I'm going tomorrow. I could probably I can ask about them, and if you wanted to just send a little I'll see if I can deliver them a package of cookies or something if you've got that. But I just meet me. He gives you like a time tomorrow. Yeah, meet me there before I head over, and I'll see what I can do.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. I will be sure next time we have a chance to delight you with some, I don't know, pick a name.
Yeah,
Um,
some wonderful tea.
so yeah, not Nightshade. Yeah, Night Vale. Night Vale.
Night Vale. Oh, I love Night Vale. That
Night Vale
sounds
Mint.
that I'm really looking forward to trying that tea. What did you say your friend's name, your relative's name? Who are we asking for?
Oh, that's right. It's Zhao Min, and what is Greg's character's name again?
Mahia.
Mahia. That's it.
Right.
Zhao Min and Mahia.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, we can do that. And yeah, he gives you a time and place the next morning for you to meet up with him, and he'll deliver a little care package for them. All right. He's not expecting any contraband or anything, so
Right.
just keep that in mind. You think that that's kind of what he's trying to help on the on the up and up. He hasn't
Yep.
signed up for anything nefarious yet. Okay,
I
so
will make
moving.
sure that the cookies are mostly okay, unless if we need to make them nefarious.
I almost feel sorry for this guy.
Almost. We can see. Let's see.
He's still a collie dog, so only almost.
Oh. Okay, so we have a potential mechanism established. Potential. So
Okay, potential. All right. Okay, so Mahia Zalmin. All right, you've been brought inside the Kabasagan, compound. Um, so do you in the each of you is in a separate kind of dorm room with kind of three other folks. You know, they're not terribly talkative, but friendly enough, and they seem relatively happy to be here. Talking with them, they're most of them, this is better than what they had at home, like in sheer poverty. So this is they see this as an opportunity for them. What do you guys want to do, either in the evening, or do you want to wait till morning and see relative morning, this being the Shattered Isles? What is your approach now that you are on the inside?
Well, my first question was going to be to find out how happy the other people over here were, but it sounds like they're fairly happy. So we're not going to be able to get much help there.
Probably not. I mean, you are a social creature though, so you know you never. And Zalman
Yeah,
has to be with people.
I mean,
The way is
I'm gonna
usually swinging them around, but
I'm gonna start by chatting them up, you know, learning the lay of the land, what's going on, all the juicy gossip, get them talking and see what I can get them to spill.
okay. So you talk you talk to them that you find out um a few basic items that you know they've been here for varying periods of time. For you know the most recent has been here just about a month. You know, others have been here for over a year. All right. So they tell you it's just fine. You eat pretty well, and you know you get to try some of the new a lot of the new you know foods that are coming from the Empire. You know, and you get to see some of the cool styles that are coming out of Imperial City as the gentlemen and the ladies use them, and they're learning some useful skills. They talk about Lady Muraig, who you know is nice, but you know she's a bit of a bitch too, right? So they talk about her like she's a teacher, very school marmy, you know, kind of harsh, doesn't take any shit, but you know isn't cruel. Right, they're not beating people for the most part. Um, so you know, there is that.
Mostly.
Why don't you give me a roll to see what else you might dig up from them at this point?
Consort,
Sure.
Oops.
that would be a 6.
A six. Okay. So there is one young woman in the group who's particularly friendly and chatty. Her name is Saya, right? Saia. Right. She spends the most time talking with you, even as the others break off and kind of do their own thing before the lights out. And she tells you, you know, that it's a pretty standard routine. That in the morning, you wake up and learn how to prepare some food down in the kitchen, and then you'll get practice serving it to in the big fancy dining hall. Um, and she so she's able to give you some details of kind of what the pattern of life is on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't seem like there's a much change. She does confide that uh, she misses her family a lot because people don't get out. That it's she hasn't seen her family in 4 or 5 months. All right, and it's last time she did, her parents came and were able to visit, kind of in the formal sitting room, but then she hasn't gone out beyond the Kabasagan lands. Although she did go out to do some harvesting at the out on the bayou of some fish and some sea life and stuff. So they don't get out a whole lot. Right. So that's yeah.
Nobody tries to sneak out to visit their families.
She's like she says it's really hard. I'm not a really good swimmer, and that's a lot of water there. Plus, they have those giant those lizards that are pretty mean, prowling around there to keep people out, but it does a pretty good job of keeping people in. I've seen them going out on the boat, and you do not want to get in the jaws of those dragons. They're ferocious. So, in short, no, they don't try to get out. Um, she says that there's one guy who did try to get out, and they know he was caught, and then he never came back. So they're not quite sure what happened to him. Though there are some rumors that he was not dealt with kindly, and he didn't actually go out to his family, but they never saw him again. So but it doesn't happen very often. Zelmin, what are you up to?
Okay,
this
so pretty much all my skills are violence.
evening? This is true, but you can do anything you want, right? And you've got to do something in this pretty little dress of yours.
Oh God. I mean, I do not think this look works for her at all. When was
No,
the last time John Man wore a dress? Ever?
right. I think you're looking like the sisters in that Disney movie. You know which one I'm talking about?
No, I do not.
Let's see. Look up the Encanto sisters.
Right.
Look up Louisa from Encanto. She's
Okay.
I think that's Zelman. So.
Yeah, I mean, given my limited social skills and limited insight skills, while she's talking everyone up, what I'm doing is I'm watching people and I'm assessing to see if I'm right that these are all actual servants, because these people seem to think I'm a servant. They do not seem to have tricked to the fact that I'm a bodyguard, which is a different thing. They don't seem to have worked that out. I'm looking to assess if there's anyone else here who seems to be in a potentially similar situation, or are they all like just kids that have been grabbed?
Yeah, that's a fair question. So you did see people that were there were plenty of guards and bodyguards as you came in, right? Where you are right now, you do not see anyone like that, but you haven't had since those guards left you at your quarters, you've kind of been put in with these other kind of the kitchen staff.
They don't have any clue who I am. That could be useful.
Right.
And
they haven't decided to sort you yet.
The kitchen and the kind of kitchen staff all appear to be just people they pulled off the street. That desperate people who needed a job.
That seems to be the case, right?
Okay. So nobody looks useful.
No, not in your room. And if you're looking to do violence, there doesn't seem to be anyone that would do much more than be a good weapon for you to sling around.
Right. And these people, I don't want to hurt any of them. People who are actually actively collaborating, I want to put some hurt on. These people, they're just broken desperate.
That is that's a good assessment, right? Are you even though you don't have any social skills, are you trying to chat anyone up or trying to get specific information?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get much because the only social skill I have that works on people is command, which is not, and I really don't want to.
You can always even with 0, you roll 2 and take the lower one.
I'm gonna try it. So I'm gonna try a consort to see if I can get any information, or if they're just going to get the message that this is from Gruff Grumpy.
Right. You can always push yourself
not to show the grumpy, but she's grumpy. Yeah. Okay, 4.
A 4. Hey, that's not
too terrible.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so you are a bit gruff grumpy, but you do get a decent amount of information. So based on what you were asking about, it does seem that people do they come and go and people will be sorted out. right? And they kind of look at you and they're like, oh, they might send you out to the fields to do some to do some work. You get with those muscles. They're not thinking, but they themselves are not thinking of you as a warrior, but you do get out of them that some of the people there do end up being bodyguards. But they're thinking that you're going to go, harvest some of the fruits in the forest.
Well, that's potentially useful.
All right. Okay.
That could be figured into a plan somehow.
Okay. Okay. Um, so, yeah.
One question I have is, I know we are in a fair bit of a hurry because of the Datu's health.
Right.
But I'm a little unclear as to just how urgent the situation is. Is it like we have to get out tonight? Do we have a day or two?
You've got a day or two, right? You wouldn't want to, push too much longer. But you've got a day or two,
Okay,
not a week.
got it.
Yep. Yeah. Does that work?
I was gonna have to.
You'll have to move quick, but you don't have to be hasty. You don't have to break out tonight. So with that in mind, what I think I'll do, unless there was a specific follow-up to that scene, we'll kind of move forward to the next morning, and move things around there. So we'll come back to Kantaru. Your guy who is willing to get something in. Is there anything else? Well, actually, before you meet up with him, what do you think you might want to get in there? And we should start thinking about what a score might look like, for getting out. Do you have some aspect to what you might want to get in with them? And are you there? I can't see your hands.
Oh.
Nope. I think you stepped away. Hey, who goes? Go figure. Okay. So I guess we'll wait for them to get back, since anything that I tell you in the morning is going to be applicable for Mahia as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here I see movement. I see movement, and I saw a Dave hand briefly. So.
Oh, did you? Okay, you might be coming
Dave?
back.
You back?
Some shadows there. He's coming back. He might have his headset on though, or need to put it on. Hey, Dave. Welcome back.
Yep, sorry about that. Had to make a quick head call.
Yeah, of course. No worries. We just turned the spotlight over to you, and then it was like, oh, except he's not there.
Oh, sorry.
You didn't realize you'd left.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
No, not you.
Yeah, no worries.
Not you, Dave.
Yeah.
Okay, so Xiaoman was finding out about the guard position, or where people get placed and whatever, and
yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. He doesn't have information for you yet. He's going to go in, right? And he said he's willing to bring a little care package,
right.
With him. So what are you thinking at this point? You are the master of shadows.
Yep.
Do you want to, are you going to use this as an opportunity to deliver a message, some contraband, some special cookies of some kind? Do you want to cultivate this guy as an asset? What are you, what is your plan here as you begin to think about what kind of a score we might want to be doing to jailbreak.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess can I assume that Isagani is around somewhere?
Let's you can have access to Isagani as a as kind of an expert.
NPC.
So,
Okay.
yeah, he's an NPC. I'm not gonna, otherwise.
This is going to end up with magic cookies, isn't
It is. It is. So, I as deftly as possible, right? I'm gonna craft a note that's pretty short, largely about, hope you're doing well. Just want to make sure you're okay. I don't know how to craft it here at the moment, but the idea would be if we can get a little package of cookies that say maybe 2 of the cookies in the middle have a potent sleeping agent embedded in them or something.
Okay. All right. That sounds pretty doable.
With something in the note that suggests that, if you're having trouble sleeping or something like that, I hope you're not having trouble sleeping. If so, you might want to look inside. Something just a little bit tongue in cheek, to suggest that the inner set of the cookies is our sleeping agent type of things.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I think that seems okay. All right. Cool. All right.
As innocuous as possible, that it's like, at the end of the day, it's a package of cookies and a how are you note.
That sounds all right. Okay. We'll keep that. We will keep that.
And definitely not the cookie on the top.
Definitely, yes.
Just
exactly.
just in case someone decides to have a cookie tax.
Right. It just decides to sneak them in there.
Right.
No, they won't miss one. Right.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Okay. We're not gonna roll for any of that yet, but this sounds like a plan coming together. Is there anything else you want to prep from the outside, or information that you want to do? Is there another angle of approach, or are you putting all your cookies in one basket here?
The only other thing I can think of is whether Kantaro can dig up any dirt on the Imperial Training School. So that is anything that's potentially a bit sketchy from the dealings that they're doing with locals in order to get certain favors or whatever, but stuff that, if it were brought to light, might not look so good on them, and they would want to not have brought to light and would be good leverage to use against
Gotcha.
whether or maybe even shady dealings of missing people or whatever it is.
Okay, so you're looking for something
Blackmailing,
make them look bad, because there's plenty of people who don't like the Kabasagan.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people that do, right? So you can find dirt on them, but particularly of the ilk that'll make them look bad to the Imperials, sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or maybe I don't know if the Imperials do this, but maybe they do unannounced inspections of facilities.
Well, this isn't an Imperial facility per se. Yeah, this is like the house of the Kabasagan family.
Okay.
Right. They're just Imperial lackeys, so it's got kind of the Imperial stink all over it. Right.
Okay. So we can't
an official thing. It's very much local. They fancy themselves their Datu to be the Datu of Konghung Konghum. So
okay. So we're not gonna be able to do a distant inspection here.
No.
Okay.
It gives me the shivers. Yeah, no, you're not gonna get that kind of inspection. But you could dig up something nasty about them, I'm sure. How would you like to go about doing that? Do you have access to the factions sheet? Do you
not immediately, no.
Okay.
You can just pick one for me.
Yeah. But the fun is having you pick one, right? You do have Um, let's see.
The third one.
Third one. Oh, well, okay. Um, so actually the one that you picked is the Children of the Clawed Spider,
Ooh.
right? This is a guild of the cloth workers, launderers, and cleaners.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, right. And guess what, right? They are a vast network of laundry houses and tailors, but they actually operate a network of spies, information gatherers, and messengers.
Hey, look at
Laundry.
that.
That works.
Back of the tailor shop.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I bet they would love some delicious fly tea.
Exactly. Now you have zero standing with these folks, but it doesn't mean that you can't you kind of forge an entree here if you would like.
So what? It's the clawed spider.
Yeah, the Children of the Clawed Spider.
What is the history of the clawed spider?
I don't know what's the history of the clawed spider. Let's see. This one is straight out of the supplement book.
Okay.
Um, I think maybe because they're the cloth workers, right? Then the spider weaves.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that's what it is. But spiders
Okay.
also weave webs, and and tails can be woven and lies, webs of deceit, etc. So
Yeah, that's right up my alley.
yeah, you probably have a pretty decent contact, with them here.
Well, given that I currently happen to be like knitting something, um, how
Oh, yeah.
about this tea house is such a wonderful place to meet people, especially when they're doing their hobbies like weaving cloth and stuff like that. Um, perhaps I can strike up a conversation if there happens to be one of these children um, hanging out there to see what kind of beverage they enjoy, and why they're hanging out at the tea house, and forge a relationship that way.
Okay, so let's do this. You find a a a woman by the name of Sinta.
Cinta.
Sinta, Sinta. And yeah, and you're able to kind of strike up a conversation with her. Let's see, how do you yeah, how do you see this going? Like I imagine you guys are there, you're sharing tea, and she's, you know, you notice she herself, she's not sitting there knitting.
Hmm.
But actually there are, while she's there, she's conducting business of various kinds. And
Mm.
so you can see sometimes people come up and they've got, kind of swatches of different textiles, and she's, making some decisions. She's always got a couple of people, sitting around her at any given time. And then there are people that are coming up and speaking in hushed tones, and you kind of recognize the patterns and of an information, merchant,
Mm.
at work, right? So, but you don't know her. You have a sense of probably who she's involved with, but what is
Hmm.
what are you doing to engage this woman? She herself, she has uh, she's a simple woman. She has long dark hair that's graying, right? It's pulled back into a simple bun.
Hmm.
Her clothes are not particularly ostentatious, standard Lan Laban fashion, right? So she's wearing some flowing, um, not silk, but kind of linen cloth, nice and light. and colorful. But yeah, you definitely sense that she has some some influence here among the folks that are coming to talk to her.
Okay. And I guess finding a kind of break where it looks like there might be an opportunity to strike up a conversation.
Yeah. And you find one,
Oh,
you get the chance as there is kind of a break. Two of the people that were sitting with her the whole time, they kind of step away, step outside for some fresh air. And for the moment, she's by herself, just kind of reading through some papers.
okay. So, um, strike up a conversation. Madam, a moment of your time, if I may. I couldn't help but notice that you appear to have a very keen eye when it comes to selecting fabrics and threads for various projects. And
Ah,
I find myself with kind of a quandary of myself that I'm not quite sure where I should go with a particular project.
yes, it is, and we do trade in the fabrics of the village. Tell me, what is your project? What sort of business are you in, and who do I have the pleasure to meet?
Ah, my name is Kintaro, madam.
Kintaro, I am Sinta. It was a pleasure to meet you.
A pleasure, Sinta. May I get you some tea while we talk?
Oh, I gladly. Right. So you're able to, and she gives you her order of the kind of tea that she wants.
Very well. Um,
Do you
and
I'm gonna just pause for a second. Do you if you don't have your do you have your player sheet with you?
I've got like a notepad that has something cobbled together.
You remember your poised portrait
Oh
skill?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you let's see. I can let's see. So it would give you um potency on your command or consort um with
If if there's a
with
favorable view of
yes,
the family.
if there's a favorable view of the family. And I say that I think she would have a favorable view. It's not a people, a lot of people have heard of your family, right? Largely from legend, but it's generally going to be favorable.
Mm, okay.
Okay.
Well,
So just wanted to remind you of your skill because
no, thank you. Yeah, I would prefer not to impose memories upon someone, at least if not at this moment. Um,
right.
um, well, madam, two of my cousins were recently taken under custody by the Kilbasa, and I wanted to send them something to remind them of home, something that I'd made with my own hands. And so I am pondering over these different fabrics that I might use, these different threads to weave them a memento, something that they can hold dear while they're away here in this horrible place. And so, and Kentaro can pull out, some sample things of he might be considering or whatever.
Okay.
I would appreciate your thoughts on how I might send what perhaps might send you know, some warmer message of home in the feeling and thought behind behind these humble threads.
Okay. Why don't you, I say, so why don't you give me a consort, at this point to see how favorably she regards you. And did you say you're not revealing your family name at this point?
No, I think that would go along with the introduction.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So if you want to, you would have a greater effect, greater potency, if you do on your consort.
Okay. And let me double check. I think consort I just only have two. Double check. Consort. Uh yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so I got a 4 and a 1.
A four and a one. All right. So say the four, it's going to be a moderate amount of information that you get out of here, and she's immediately inclined to help so much. She says, ah, yes, I understand the when I've had some family who've gone to work for the Kabasagan themselves, and it can be difficult if they are when they're just learning the ways. You might not see them for quite some time. I had a cousin who had spent years there before we saw her again, and but it was so nice when she finally did come out. So I can understand
Years.
the inclination to send a memento to them. If they've just started their work at the compound, especially those can be difficult days. You're doing something very, very kind for them. And she looks over your things, and she's like, I maybe some sort of if you want to get them something quick, they do live a very simple life in there, so perhaps some sort of simple scarf or handkerchief might be in order, because they don't have much opportunity to wear fancy clothes or anything. So any of these samples might be helpful for you.
I do so appreciate it. Do you think it's quite drafty there? I often worry about the poor deers. They're so young, and their wits are not quite about them. And I sometimes fear that they would just, die of draft and the cold if they weren't paying attention to it.
And she engages. She's like, oh, I think they'll be fine. They're generally decently cared for. They just don't get off the grounds very often. And
years, you said. Oh, that's so terrible. I can't imagine not seeing my poor deers for years. I don't know what to do. I'm at wit's end. I'm just trying to find any way to reach out to them, and this seemed like the best way, at least at the moment, for me to be trying to make a connection with them.
Yeah. So if you're going to get information or assistance from her, you're going to need to give another. Let's get another roll. Are you going to try? Are you going to try to lean in to her?
Yeah.
Way or a
oh yeah. No. This is like. Yes, indeed. I've been looking for any other way to make a connection, or perhaps, I just know so little about that school and, the training. And I wonder, are they going to be okay? Do horrible things happen there to them? I'm just so worried that something horrible might happen. And I don't want anything bad to be happening to them. And I'm looking for any way to just make a connection.
Okay. Give us, let's see your sway to see if she's going to come over to your side a little bit more, if she's going to keep things, polite and friendly.
Okay, we got a 4, a 3. Come on, big money. Come on. This cooldown is killing me. A 1. 4, 3, 1.
So it's a 4, right? So she is moderately, she is sympathetic to you, and you get out of her. She's like, yes, it can be very difficult, because we all know why the Kabasagan really hold people there, but I assure you, they lose any leverage that they might have on people if their charges go missing or are mistreated. So they keep them close, but they don't. They tend to not lose them.
Well, that's at least heartening to hear. I do appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. So you're not going to get much more out of her, at this point, but at least you've established a new contact.
Yeah.
To be able to work her a little later on.
Yeah. I will thank her for her time, and be sure to follow up with her to let her know how things are going.
All right.
And I'll leave the sort of perennial. And if there's anything I can do for you, please never hesitate to ask.
Okay. And she does. She is very pleased to meet your acquaintance, and she senses that that you are a professional, as well. So, she's no dummy. So you've got a contact here. Um, Mahia. It is you go through the evening in the morning, true to form. You are woken up early, much earlier than you would normally would care to. And Lady Moraig is there, as well put together and stern as ever. All of the other servants, they kind of line up. They show you all how to stand in, and there's about 15 of you lined up there. You and Zelman, together, line up in a line, and they explain that you're going to be preparing the morning meal, and then you'll be serving it at breakfast. And Saya says to you, she's like, "Don't worry, you'll see your sister at breakfast." All right. Uh, you guys kind of do the morning cooking, and are going to bring it up to the main hall. Is there anything that you wanted to do at this point, or do you want to wait until you get to the main hall itself?
I will not do anything exactly, but I do want to make note of where things are stored in the kitchens.
Hello there.
Excellent.
I have a feeling that the kitchens will be the main source of equipment for our escape.
Could very well be. All right.
I want to know, I want to pay attention to not just where the sharp objects are stored, although that's important, but also, for example, meat to throw to hungry lizards and other useful items of that sort.
Okay, excellent. Great. Why don't you give me a find information? What do you, let's see, it would be some sort of study or
Yeah,
maybe
study or
survey.
survey.
Yeah, one of those would be appropriate for trying to get your bearings here.
That sounds like a survey, and that is a 4.
Okay, a 4, a decent amount of information. So I think later on, for the score, we'll let you choose two items that you might be able to get your hands on, easily at a future point.
Okay.
Yep. Zalmin, how are you handling the bread making and rice cooking for the morning routine?
Oh, I am storing up my grudges. One thing she is paying attention to is, are there actual professional cooks in here, or is everything being done by the quote unquote students?
Hmm. Um,
Is there a chef supervising us?
yeah. So Lady Muraig is supervising, right? And you notice that there is a brawny there's a brawny woman standing by the door, but and she's actually kind of like sitting on a stool, right? She's not doing a whole lot, right? Just kind of keeping an eye, on things ish, more or less, grabbing, snacks off the counter periodically. You just kind of lackadaisical, paying attention, but on site. But the work is being done by the men and women, from the dormitory, right?
Okay.
You know that the ones that have been there longer kind of know the routines,
Okay.
and there's a bit of a hierarchy in terms of how they're doing, and they give you your stations, and you've got to cut some fruit, and how you prepare it and arrange it, whatnot.
Right. But there's no actual. So there's no actual cook here.
Well, they are the cooks, right?
Right, but
Trained to. Yeah.
right, but there's no professional in cooking instructor here. It's all peer
Yeah.
based.
Yep, exactly. Were you looking for something in particular with that, or?
I'm paying attention to the quote unquote guard who does not impress me particularly.
Right.
If that's the standard of their guards, then I am not impressed. I'm paying attention to how, they give me a knife. Now I'm gonna do a quick check how sharp it is.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Are they looking at? Are they looking after any equipment we might steal, or is it going to be useless?
Yeah. So, yeah, you get the sense there's not there I think Lady Muraig is keeping an eye on you, right? You're able to see that. She's keeping a close eye on you two. But the others are going about their business. Everything seems to be in pretty decent working order, right? It's good quality knives, but they're definitely kitchen knives, not,
Oh yeah.
stabby knives, right?
Yeah,
Um,
but kitchen knives make good stabbing knives if you know what you're doing.
yeah. So, let's see. What are you looking to kind of identify equipment as well? Are you looking to assess the security person? Are you trying to engage
I
them?
was mostly trying to quietly assess the security person, and
Okay. Um, give me, let's see. How do you want to do that? I can give you potency on a roll because you are a professional fighter. If you're trying to kind
yeah,
of
I mean,
study or
unfortunately, I
survey,
think it's a study which I don't have, but
it could be a survey as you're kind of like
I don't
getting,
have either.
don't have either, but
Point.
you can always, push yourself or just take the 2D and take the lower one, knowing that there's very little risk. And you're probably going to
Right,
get
yeah.
some
I'm
information.
just going to take the 2D. I'll say pushing myself for when I really need to, but I roll
Yeah.
a 2. No, actually, I roll a 1. So,
Yeah. It's not much, but you are able to tell. So you get the sense this person probably is trained, but isn't does not consider the kitchens with this staff to be a threat. But you do see that they've got proper equipment. They're just not.
yeah.
They are
I
they
mean,
are
she's probably primarily there to make sure that nothing walks out of the kitchen that isn't supposed to.
Yeah, that is probably the case. Make sure that no one causes any trouble, and if anyone does, they're there. But is a guard who is not on their guard at the moment.
Very complacent. Nothing ever actually happens.
Yeah,
These people,
that's
which tells me everything I need to know about the people here.
there you
They
go.
don't care. They're cowed. They're
That is correct.
or
But it is different from the guards that you saw last night when you showed up. They were
right.
definitely on point, waiting.
Those guys were good, but
Yeah.
the ones they have watching the quote unquote students, they're not putting their best people on this.
Correct. So once you kind of prepare the breakfast, according to their rituals, the way they go through it. You bring things up and you set it out on the side, platter. You recognize that this is the dining room that you saw on the previous night, where Lalisa was escorted into. And the room itself is an interesting mix of Daggerite, Lan Laban, and Imperial furnishings, right? So, the room itself, you can tell is, it's a building that is of traditional Daggerite construction. You can't see that it's on pylons, but you know the kind. It's on pylons.
Yeah.
It's up
Oh yeah.
over the water. This is also teak and other dark wood, engraved, appropriately decorated along the beams and the rafters. But there's a large Severosi rug on the floor, that is not something that is typical in the Dagger Isles, and a large Akarosi style table, and Akarosi style side table. So it almost looks like a bit of an English banquet hall, kind of how you might think that like in the Raj, the Brits would adopt. They would use local decorations and whatnot, but still have the best stuff, from London. And you can see that the Kabasagan have kind of, adopted that. So you prepare everything. They show you how to set the table, set out the food, and then how to line up appropriately. Um, and Lady Murag tells you that you two will stand on opposite sides of the room. Mahia, she tells you, she's like, you will stand behind this seat up against the wall. Your sister will, Lalisa, will sit here. She indicates the chair. She's like, and you are not to move until instructed. She, for Zalmin, she's like, you, young lady, you should get used to standing by doors. So you can stand over on that side, right? So you guys are in the same room, but not, able to whisper to each other. And you stand there, you're poised as Lalisa and several others come in kind of an orderly and ordered manner. There are a few that come in kind of in a line, and then there's others that you recognize as senior members of the Kabasagan family, and they're seated at this table, around for breakfast, and they begin eating, right? Lady Murag, is kind of pointing out to Lalisa which silverware to use for the table settings and whatnot. But then that's kind of the tone and the course of the breakfast, as they all kind of tuck in. Lalisa makes eye contact with each of you as she comes in, and you know her, right, and very well, and so she is looking to convey something or be conveyed, and she is open to trying to catch your eye and exchange some information at some point if you guys have a plan on how to do so. And we'll probably go through this before we then think about what the score will be for moving out of here. So think about what kind of final preparations you might want to do, either this, or if you want to wait until the day to do something else, we can do that. Or because I'm just looking at the time, but thinking about how to set up the score for how to get out of here. What would you like to do? So we'll go back to Mahia. What are your thoughts? How are you handling this?
At this point, I will. I'm actually assuming that we are being watched very closely right now. That this whole meal is sort of a test, and that we are under very strong observation. So I'm going to be focused mostly on not doing anything suspicious right now. We'll save doing suspicious things for later.
Okay.
Although I will try to convey a message to my sister to be ready.
Okay. How do you think you would do that?
Just sort of.
And you can have a light flight. We're not in the score yet, but you could have had something prepared, right? But how do you want to communicate with her, or is it a whisper?
I would assume just sort of something in, I mean, we presumably have, she's a little younger than me, but we've presumably been up to things going all the way back to our childhoods. So there's, probably some way that as I'm serving her, I can, brush up against her, tap her on the shoulder in some sort of pattern or something to, something that we sort of came up with as kids for messing with our parents.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. So all right, give me a roll to make that contact with her.
Sure.
How do you want to
consort again?
You could do a consort. Yeah. It's going to be controlled. I think lesser effect because you're not really able to consort freely, but passing some messages.
Sure. That's fine. I could do finesse as well if you think that's better.
Yeah, it's up to you. Finesse, I think, would be kind of standard, effect.
All right. Well, then let's do finesse.
All right.
And that is a 5.
A 5. Okay. So, okay. So you're able to kind of get her hand with the gesture, right? And as you're like serving her at one point, she slips you a tiny note, which you're able to palm, and you look at it later. All right, so you're not caught. But Lady Mordai does kind of, with a 5, I will add that condition that she does kind of see. She doesn't intervene, but she gives you a look that you're not to dawdle too close, to your sister, right? But you're able to palm the note and take a look at it. You see later it says upstairs harem. Okay, so Zhao Min, what are you doing during the breakfast?
So I get shunted over to stand by the door. Who else is over there with me?
There are a couple other servants, and then the kind of the standard bodyguard is standing at the door. There's a more together bodyguard, standing somewhat at attention at either door, to this place.
The doors are closed. Did I notice whether they were locked?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. You're muted. I think I'm hearing you through Greg's.
Closed. Did I notice whether they were locked after everyone came in?
When anyone knocked, you mean like last night or here dinner? Oh, locked. No, they don't seem to be
locked.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you were coming through Greg's.
You're only hearing me through Greg's mic, and that's not great.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, they did not seem to be locked, right? And there are windows here as well to kind of catch breeze, right? So it doesn't seem to be totally locked down. Right.
So they are.
Hey, Blueberry Bean, how's it going?
They are not.
I'm Blue sent you to tell me that I'm amazing.
It does not seem to be the case.
Wait.
No.
Oh, to yell in my eyes that I'm. Oh, well, thank you. Sorry, it took me a second. Well, thank you. Hope you're doing well. I was gonna say Amu's amazing. Amu's also amazing. Maybe you can yell back at her eyes that she's amazing. I see she just gave me a shout out. Let me give her a shout out. Yeah, you're yelling in my eyes. My eyes with all caps. Thank you so much. We're playing a game of like Dungeons and Dragons right now. You can tell Casimir.
All right.
We're playing a game called Blades in the Dark that it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons.
Trying to assess assess
Thank
their
you.
stance and their readiness and what kind of threats they might be looking for.
Yeah. So from the
There we go.
inside,
Go
it
follow
doesn't
Amo
look like
Bleu.
they are assessing or anticipating much trouble on the inside, but they appear to be, somewhat ready, for that. But you haven't been able to see anything on the outside
No, I have not.
yet.
I'm trying to not knit socks. This is very tiny for me. I have very large hands.
So, if you have another action, let me know. Otherwise, maybe we just like pause and discuss what the escape plan might be.
We need to
at this
give
point.
Greg a moment. He's got
Okay.
to wait.
Yep, he'll be back. All right.
So
Actually,
so has my care package made it through? Perhaps.
not quite yet. I want to
Okay.
see what they're thinking and anticipating. But I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
They're not so.
All right. Everyone's taking a break. Take a break. Take a stretch break. We're gonna go to the score, which means we're gonna actually like do a thing. So Blades in the Dark, as far as I can tell, is largely built around storytelling, and then it builds up to quote unquote the score. And then the score is basically, it can be a variety of things. It can be a social score, it can be like an action, I forget the types. But there's usually a designated goal, and the group is trying to figure out like what's the setup here, and then everyone acts on it, and so then you actually do a turn by turn type of adjudication. But Blades is pretty loosey goosey, so it allows for things such as flashbacks, quote unquote. So you can flash back and say like, well, I set up this, I knew I was going to need a blank, and so I prepared blank, so now that comes at certain costs, and so those don't come for free. But that's what the leader kind of manages, is kind of dealing with the ramifications of people. The idea is basically you've got a skill set, you've got a context and environment, things you're trying to do. Just try stuff, have fun. So it's fun that way. You want to just suddenly blow something up? Go for it. Anyway. So we'll get ready here in a moment, I think, to shift to the score. Any thoughts on what this score is going to look like?
All right. We're still waiting on Greg.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So here's Greg. So what do you think this score is looking like? And do you want to gather more information over the course of the day to kind of help you out? What gaps would you like to try to fill in your thoughts on how you want to break out of here?
I mean, I'm gonna spend the day, learning everything I can about the lay of the land, the layout of the place, where things are,
Yep.
who the people around here are, if there's any. I'll be kind of the suck up a new student who volunteers for everything. If there's ever a call for volunteers for something, I will take it, especially if it involves going somewhere I haven't been yet, but also things that aren't that, because I don't just want to arouse suspicion by only volunteering for certain things. So anytime there's a call for volunteers, I'm all Hermione.
Oh, yeah. You're embarrassing me.
Excellent. That sounds good. All right, let's okay, let's
Hey,
do a yeah. Did you have
I
something?
would say one last ditch attempt for me is to find out whether there's going to be any other sort of like supply shipment, whether it's food or anything like that, for the daily or weekly or whatever supplies for the place that might be possible to smuggle something into.
So something more sizable, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Great. Okay, hold on. Let's come back to that
Yep.
in a second. So Maya, let's see how successful you are in your um let's say how do you want to approach that? You kind of gave that approach, but what's your action? Do you want to try to you can go through that. It could be a gather information via consort, or it could be gather information with a survey.
Oh,
And I think either one of those will give you kind of like greater potency since you're kind of like leaning into that. So we'll see how many pieces of the puzzle you might be able to pull together as you go over the course of the day. What action are you going to take?
consort, I think, to get myself in good with the people doling out tasks.
Now, all right, that sounds good. All right, go ahead, give us a roll.
That is a 6.
Hey, there you go. Okay, so what things are you looking for in particular?
Um, Obviously, I'd like to get a look at the room where my sister is being kept, and whether inside or just, wandering by in the hallway. But if I, can arrange to get sent to take her wardrobe to the laundry or fold her clothes or something like that. Uh,
Okay.
that would be excellent. But even if I can get some other task on the same floor so I can walk by and look in the door, that would be great. If I happen to, see the lower levels with servants' entrances, possibly see where a boat is kept, just keeping my, are there guards around we haven't seen who need food being taken to them at
Gotcha.
lunch, or, whatever. Just trying, looking,
Okay.
looking for the things that we will need, like, the route to my sister's room, but also looking for surprises.
Gotcha. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll start. Um, I will. All right. I'm gonna develop the clocks that you'll have to fill for this score, right? So I'm gonna put one clock on there for finding Lalisa, right? You know she's upstairs. So you know that she didn't say if it's second floor or third floor, but she said it's the harem.
Listen for
So I'm
giggling.
using, huh?
I said, just listen for giggling.
Thanks for giggling. Yeah, I was just about to say like, and I'm using that in the traditional sense, not the Orientalist sense, but like
Right.
the rooms where the women live.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Aw.
not the not another pleasure dome, right? She's just being kept with the proper ladies. Um, all right, and you're able to you're not able to find it exactly, but you narrow down which wing it is, and so you'll have to you narrow down part of where to find her. And then you have also developed the clock to escape, to get out, right? So I'm gonna develop that as a four clock um, for you right now. right. Sounds good. So that'll so over the course of the day, you are able to find um you're able to narrow down where she might be. You haven't found her exact locations yet. And you're able to kind of identify a back door that could have some promise, and you see where there's a boat sometimes, but the boat isn't always there out back of one of the wings. But then you're not sure. You get twisted around, and you're not sure exactly where that was again. So, you'll have some work to do a little later on. Zalman, any one final thing? And do you guys have a thought on like how you want to approach the score here?
I mean, one of the things to
Oh, you're muted again.
I should have thought about.
You're muted, Jenna.
One of the things I should have thought about but didn't, that Xiaomin would have thought about, is did they lock us in last night?
They did not.
And how?
Actually, no. I'm incorrect. They did.
Okay.
Right? Oh, yes.
And also, how deeply did my roommates sleep?
They're let's see here. They did not sleep very well. One particular was up, a few times.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's no way I'm getting out of my room without waking these girls,
There could be. I mean,
unless I have the
Probably.
cookies.
right.
And I suspect that my sister is probably in a similar boat where.
Well, possibly. All right. So speaking of the cookies, let's see. Dave, why don't you let's see. Normally I give a fortune roll, but let's link this to your consort. Let's see how much this guy likes how friendly he is. What about these cookies?
This is Commander Bayani.
Yes.
Sorry, knocked over my 3 and a 4.
A 3 and a 4. Okay. So it's gonna work, right? But we'll say the cookies show up kind of at the end of the day. Not from Bayani himself, but towards the end of the day, one of the other servants kind of brings them probably to Zhao Min, right? Because Mahi is out, doing stuff, right? And Zhao Min is easily identifiable.
Okay,
Right?
so
It's like, hey, new girl. It's like, here's a box from the outside for you.
okay. So I wait until they have left before I open the box. And
Yep.
Bother.
Yeah.
Note.
Yeah, you see the note in case you have trouble sleeping, and you can see that there are 2 cookies of a different color, packed in the middle of a bunch of cookies. These ones are definitely different from the rest.
I will take the first opportunity I have to split the cookies with Mahaya. Because we're probably.
Okay, so you find inside them, there's a vial of something, inside each one. So it's a little you recognize Isagani's work, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
These are little clear vials of something.
Of something, and the note said
Liquid
that we're
dreams.
having difficulty sleeping.
There you
So
go.
that's certainly enough to clue me in. As to what.
Yep.
All right. Okay. All right. So shall we plan the score? How do you want to, are you going to try to move tonight or?
Yes.
Yes, I don't think we have any choice.
Oh, hey,
All right.
was I going to get a chance to try to find any other sort of like large delivery?
Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you
Yes,
for reminding
you
me.
did say you were going to do that.
You did say you wanted to do that.
Ideally, it's like, you know, they're getting an Amazon order that's like things for the guards, things for the kitchen, and, you know, maybe like a box of things for the guards accidentally gets into the box for the kitchen.
Yeah, I see. Right.
Although, see, like, I don't really know where they are at this point, so that's a little bit of
No,
a
you
crapshoot.
don't.
Right. Yeah, but you know, we deal with flashbacks, and you know, people are highly gifted here. So, here's what we're gonna do. All right, I'll do this to lean into Kintaro's kind of social and planning skills. Kintaro, I'm gonna give you a 4 o'clock, which is an additional. It's a different 4 o'clock, and that is to get to position something useful, right, on the inside. And you can, I'll ask you periodically to describe, you know, how it is you're going about that, to take an action roll to move that, and then we'll see if and when that shows up in time to help them as they are getting out.
All right.
All right. So I think for the score, what we're mainly looking for is kind of like your overall approach for this. How are we say? How do you want to go about this? Is this is a sneaking let's see,
Yeah, I think this is definitely a stealth.
or you're
play.
gonna
Definitely.
right. Yeah, so trespass unseen,
Sneaky.
stealth.
Me, sneaky. This isn't supposed to happen.
Yeah. So instead of stealth usually says the point of infiltration. We're going to turn that around and say the point of exfiltration. What do you see as, you know, this is the key detail that we need for the score. What do you what is that detail? How are you getting out?
Ideally, that boat will be there.
Okay.
But if it is not, then you know, we are in a forest full of trees and we are expert mariners. I'm sure we can fashion something from a fallen log that will get us, you know, we're not having to travel 30 miles.
All right.
So, boat if we can get it, but we'll, you know, we'll improvise a raft if we need to.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So you're trying to find that boat. All right. Sounds good. Okay. Let's see. We will do our engagement roll. You get 1 for sheer luck. What do you see as major advantages? Let's see. I think you are friends or contacts provide aid or insight for the operation. So I think we've accounted for the aid that you're getting from Kintaro from the outside. I don't think we got anything else there. Does anyone have an argument for another major advantage for friend or contact?
I think the advantage that we have is that these people, I mean, looking around at the other servants that we have, the vast majority of them, and certainly everybody who's here now, are people who are content with their lot. They generally want to be there because, as you were saying, it's better than where they came from. and or at worst they're resigned to it. So the fact that we're not able to get help from them, also, we could, that was a negative, but we can also turn around the fact there are not a lot of people who try to break out of this place, and the ones who do, frankly, these people are nowhere near as competent as we are. These are generally naive young teenagers who are reasonably happy to be here. This is not Fort Knox that we're breaking out of. Generally, we don't necessarily out tier these people in the sense of our family doesn't have the resources that they do. But as far as this particular prison goes, we outclass the normal type of inmate who's held here. So they're not really prepared for, an organized group of criminals, basically, trying to use, the standard our standard pirate tactics to blow this place are outclassing the keep some cowed teenagers from sneaking off to visit their families.
Fair enough. All right. So I think, yeah, I think you.
Very reliant on the stories, possibly true, possibly not, of the lizards in the swamp. We don't even know if that's true. I'm preparing as if it is, that there really are giant lizards and we're going to have to deal with them. But I'm also having a side note that we don't know that there were actually giant lizards.
Right. So, and that's what I was going to say. So I will give you, like, from where you've explored on the inside, you outclass the servants, right? You've got, that can be an advantage, but I am going to take that away because you have not explored outside, very much. So you don't know what is out there, as Jenna said. So that's something that you did not manage to unearth while you were exploring inside the house. All right. So that brings the engagement roll is 1 die. So who wants to take that engagement roll?
I think it is appropriate since 2 of us are heavily involved and one of us is just kind of sitting outside sending care packages in, that the person whose life is not on the line should do the roll.
So you're going to pick the person that's been rolling ones. For, okay, here we go.
Generate a new seed in that.
Hey, 5.
A 5. All right. So you're in a risky position. All right. So we will start that risky position with we'll say the risky position is that Zalmin has broken the lock to get out of the room, right? But it has roused the roommates. All right. So they're looking at you, right?
Well,
yep.
Hold on now.
Yeah, sure.
I thought that sort of the first step of our plan was, before any of that, we were going to share our care package with our roommates
And attempt to drug them.
and attempt to drug them.
Okay, but I think there were vials. When she said you broke open the cookies, I gave you the sleeping potions in terms of
actually in the cookies themselves.
Right,
Or-
but we can apply them to the cookies.
Ah, I see. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. You want to do it that way. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Gotcha. All right.
That doesn't necessarily mean I didn't rouse somebody else.
Right. I gotcha. Okay. I see how you want to use it. Understood. That is fine. So then you're still in a risky position, right?
Actually, before we start the score,
Yeah.
our dinner is ready. So can we have like 2 minutes to
Sure.
get it out?
Go ahead. So Dave, how are things going for you in the new year? I haven't seen you this week. Have you been in the office?
I came in today, but like I came in late and left early. Yeah, it was like a continual thing of I was at Fort Meade all day yesterday. Tuesday I had to be here for something I can't remember. Monday there was an inspection and there was also the snowstorm, but
Yeah.
large. And tomorrow, like I'm gonna be on some drone podcast down in Alexandria, so I'm just gonna go to that in the morning and telework from home for the rest of the day. So it's been one of those. I was back all week working, but mostly from home this week, and that was fine because it was largely digging out of the 200 emails from over the holidays.
Oof. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. How about you? What was the holiday damage?
Oh, I'm just I knew I was gonna like come back and just step right into the frenzy.
Yeah.
Um, so I have to go down to McDill next week.
Hello there.
We're going down Monday. I'll be there until Thursday night.
Oh wow.
So we're not gonna get a chance to play next week because I'll be flying back from Tampa.
Yeah. Okay.
But and then um I'll have 1 week and 2 days, and then I'm off to Korea
Oh
for to do that USFK game.
yeah.
And then I'll be back for a week, and then off to Hawaii. We're doing a game at Makalapa, right? So I got a lot of travel coming up.
Yeah.
And it's the training online training season,
Oh
and these trips, like, to go international now, Dave, is such a pain in the ass.
yeah.
Like, there's so much work that I have to do, just to like get the bureaucracy lined up so that I can go do my job.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I I took the pain pill and did most of the training over the last weekend.
Yeah.
And so I think I managed to get it all done like over Saturday and Sunday. As much as I wanted to enjoy those final days off, I'm like, I know what the week is gonna be like.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, whatever. And so I did manage to get it all done, but holy crap, it's so long.
Yeah, it is. I've gotten through most of it now. And I tried to take the opportunity of the 2 snow days and working from home
Yes.
to do it, but I was still working at home with the kids
Yeah.
home. There was plenty of interruptions and whatnot. So
Yeah.
it is what it is, right? So, but anyway, it took me about 2 hours to try to get my training arranged to be able to go to Korea, and then I was thwarted at the last minute because I actually need to book my flight before I'm allowed to request permission to go on the flight. Like,
Ugh.
and that was not explicit at the beginning of the instructions when I started everything, and I was like, well, I'm not going to do this now. I need to go home and play Dagger House.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was always annoying about the foreign travel stuff. It's like especially if it was personal travel. It's like you're supposed to book the flight, but you're waiting for permission to go on the trip. So, who bears the risk here?
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Well. Anyhow, all right, cool. All right. So we've got dinner in hand.
Cookies.
Yay! All right. So, but you're still starting in a risky position. At least those of you that are on the inside. So what we'll say is that while the roommates, if you wanted to KO the roommates, let's see here. Hey, I will say you only needed 1 vial of the stuff. to sedate to poison the cookies to sedate everyone. So you still have a vial of stuff to use, at a later point in the score if you want. So you shared your cookies with your two roommates, but you still had to break open the lock. And Zhao Min handled that, and then handled the lock on yours, Greg. And so Zhao Min and Mahia are able to go, but it did create a little bit of noise, and you could hear someone approaching from down below in the stairs as you scurry off to make yourselves scarce, from that. So you are running off in the opposite direction from where you hear the
slow
footsteps.
down any pursuit, I do make sure that I close both doors when we leave.
Indeed.
Not two obviously open doors.
Yes, of course.
Absolutely.
Hey, I always want to specify these things.
Yep. I figured that would be the case. We assume competence, right, in this game.
Don't assume my competence.
All right, but I am starting a guard alerted clock, to reflect the risky situation. Though I haven't ticked anything yet because that's just the engagement. So I've got a clock for you to make your way through the house to find Lalisa, and another clock to escape, via the boat. And there's a clock for delivery of a package of goodies along the way. And don't forget that you were able to readily identify a couple of things that you might be able to use, because normally we ask you to carry a load, but you don't have any load at this point because you're escaping. All right. So you've run down the hall in the opposite direction from how you've heard footsteps. And I'm not going to detail kind of like every single room. This isn't a dungeon crawl. But as you make your way through the house stealthily with your actions, we'll just check off and describe the rooms that you move into and any complications that come up along the way. So what do you two who are now running away, what is your the first thing that you were doing to try to navigate your way through this house?
Well, first objective is the kitchen to arm up.
Okay, gotcha.
Grab our pre-identified supplies, the knife to arm Zhao Min, and some meat in case we run into hungry lizards.
Cool. All right. So what action are you using to get down there?
One more thing I want to grab, and I'm assuming that there are cloth napkins in the kitchen.
Not in the kitchen, but you know where they are. Yeah. So yes, if you want that to be one of the two items that you can grab, or you can stop and do a search for them along the way. So Mahi already stacked up two items to grab from the kitchen when you get there, right? But what action are you using to get down to the kitchen? You could do it as individual. If you're going together, you could do it as a teamwork action, a team prowl, or you could go do your individual roles if you're going to sneak down there, or
yeah, this seems sort of prowly to me.
It's definitely prowl.
Definitely prowl there. All right. So go ahead. Individual roles, or are you doing a teamwork?
What's your prowl?
One.
Mine too. Okay, let's do individual then.
Yeah, I don't know that I need. One.
6.
Cheese appears, and I managed to make a noise with the drawer getting the napkins. That's the thing we're doing. It's different.
Absolutely right.
I find a creaky, squeaky drawer, and
all right. So yeah, that's about right. So the so the six helps you to navigate through You down to the kitchen. All right. You get the two things that you are. So you what two items are you grabbing? A knife and
A
cloth
knife and meat.
and meat. All right, so no cloth napkins yet. If you want to try to find those, that's going to be a separate roll to get those because you were not able to find them, but you were able to make a lot of noise, Zalmin. So I'm going to check two. The consequence to that is I'm checking two checks on the alerted guard clock.
Can I maybe potentially resist one of those checks?
Yes, you can.
Remember how to
It's a 4 o'clock, by the way.
prowess resist. So I roll. If my best roll on that is a 5, so I lose 1 stress.
All right.
BD because I don't have much.
Okay. All right. So moving on up here, what do you what's your next move? Are you gonna hunt around for more stuff, or are you going to re-engage in a prowl?
I think our next step is to make our way upstairs and go looking for Sis.
All right.
Now, I'm still looking for any kind of cloth.
Okay. So if you so if you would like to, as you're going along, continue to hunt or survey or look for something, we'll see if you can do that, and we'll just assume that you're going along.
Hunt is my best of those. Let's try a different dice.
Yeah, there you go.
Disgrace. 6.
There you go. Okay. So you are able to find some cloth napkins, along the way, without too much trouble. You find what you want. Mahia, how was your prowl?
I have not rolled it yet. Let's see. And I get a 4.
A 4. Okay. So
I'm getting concerned. I haven't failed a roll yet tonight.
Oh dear.
Yeah. That's
exactly.
I appear to be saving it up for a particularly bad moment.
You do.
Okay. So the a 4 success with a complication, right? So the success is going to check a third box or a third of the finding Lalisa. And so you have found the entrance to the harem. However, the complication is there is a guard at the door as you come around. You haven't been seen, but you've identified that circumstance.
All right. So, Xiaomin, are we going to do this the polite way or the painful way? I.e., is it you or me?
How big is this guy? How hard is he going to fall?
You could probably take him. He's about your size, but you're confident.
Yeah, I'm also wrapping my hands. That's what the napkins were for. So and I punch him. That's actually because some fighting wraps aren't decorative.
There you go. Nice. Well done. I appreciate that. Excellent. Okay.
And I do have a knife too. So yeah, I'm going to wreck this guy.
All right.
I'm going to try and do. I'm actually going to try and sack him. I'm going to try and quietly wreck him, but.
Okay. Wreck.
Wreck is what I do.
Wrecking me softly with your napkins.
What is that? So I rolled 1 6.
You got a 6.
I got a 6.
Hey, the 6 that'll do it. So you are able to come up and just knock this guy out, right?
That was my goal.
Yep.
It's just.
So actually, hold on 1 second, because he is tier 2. right? Do you have any? You've got wraps, but do you have anything?
I do
else?
not have my regular wraps, though. I have
Don't
improvised
have your regular
wraps.
wraps. That makes a difference because they are not fine.
Yeah.
So you wreck him up against the door, but he still has kind of one more tick on his clock
Right.
before he's out. Sorry about that. I thought
No,
of.
no. He's tough.
All right. Okay. Now before we're getting Kentaro, we're gonna come to you in a second, but we're gonna wrap up this action. Mahe, is there something you wanted to do to try to interfere? Or are we gonna let Zalmin try to finish this guy off?
I would not turn down assistance.
If there is, well, yes, if there's a nearby blunt object I can knock him over the head with, I will do that.
I don't think you
looking
have
at you.
acquired one of those, and you're not.
No, I'm just looking. I'm not trying to acquire something. I'm just. Is there something? If is there like a vase in the hall or something? If there isn't, that's fine. I'll just punch him.
Yeah, no, let's see. So, all right, but you are going to go for kind of a skirmish
Yes.
against this guy. All right. So, yeah, let's see how you do and how effective, what your effectiveness is, and then we can detail it out.
There we go. 3.
A 3.
Had to fail something eventually.
There you go. All right. Yeah. So in that case, why don't we do this? We'll take the you grab the vase, right, and chuck it at him, right, and it does not work, but it's going to hit Zalmin for a damage, right? So the consequence.
Can I resist that? Can I resist that and have it just shatter noisily against the wall instead?
Yeah, you can. I think it's funny if it shatters against her but doesn't actually do any harm. But yes, you can. You can do that. You can do that. And I am
down for it. I am down for the resist, making it just shatter against me without me doing any harm. That was funny, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
so
funny.
You can resist it, so it hits her. And I'm also going to check one more on the general guard alert here while this guy is in duress. So we're gonna pause in the middle of this fight and see what Kentaro has been up to. Seducing people to get a care package into position.
Yeah.
Kentaro,
So at this point, yeah, hunting around for the larger supply lines for this place, whether again it's like clothing, supplies, food, where's the food package, or where's the logistics train coming from, and kind of what does that schedule look like, and then trying to figure out how I can manipulate it. So
okay, yeah, so I think you will be able to find something. We're just gonna keep the clock rolling until said point that you succeed or not, and then that'll end up being a care package that Zalmin and Mahia can come across.
Yep.
So I think you can find some folks by asking around, how to make a delivery. But give me an action to try to either convince them, sway them, to deliver a package or get something in there yourself.
Okay, I'll go with the sway to see if I can get someone to add something or mix something up. Or we got a 4, we got a 1, and let it cool down, and we get a 3.
You can push yourself for this. All right. Okay.
4, 1, 3.
Right. 4, 1, 3. All right. So you succeed with a consequence. The consequence is going to be let's see here. What would be an appropriate consequence for or lesser effect? That's what we'll do, right? So you're gonna get just one segment on delivering that package, but the consequence might be that there is one less item of significance in there that you might otherwise be able to deliver. Right. So I was thinking it was going to be ideally, what did you want to give them? Your ideal package to leave for them. We'll describe it now.
Okay. Well, I guess I would look in their rooms and see if there's like, oh yeah, they're always using this in when they're fighting. So Xiaoman left behind some sort of particular type of weapon. I mean,
we ask, what do you how about okay? How about we'll do it this way. This will be easier and more efficient. Whereas there were 4 items in it at the beginning for Zalmin and Mahia to add to their load as they go through. Now there's only going to be 3 as the consequence, unless you resist that.
well, I guess the other question, can I use a push memory here, take a stress and push the memory to add to someone of like, oh yeah, no, I was supposed to send this package anyway.
I would say you can use that is a good action. Yeah, you can probably do that next time.
Okay.
You have to go through this because you didn't specify it this time, but that is a good way to kind of get stuff in. I like that.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, I guess then what do I need to do to resist the
So it was a resolve roll. So roll a resolve resistance.
I think my resolve is.
Got at least 2. Do you have any command?
No,
you don't have any attune, right?
No, I did add 1 attune the last time I leveled up, so I've got
roll 3 dice for your resist.
All right, so
and subtract the highest one from 6.
Subtract the highest one from 6.
Yep.
Okay, I got a 1, 2. Do I want high or low?
You want high.
Okay, I got a 4.
A 4. All right. So 6 minus 4 is 2. You take 2 stress.
Okay.
All right. So trying to convince someone to unwittingly deliver contraband. All right, back to the fight in the hall. Zalmin, you drew first blood. You want to try to finish this guy off?
Yep, I'm gonna try and finish this guy off. And that is another 6.
Hey, there you go. And that puts him out cold.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
It was totally that vase I threw.
We will be having words about that vase later.
Gotcha. All right. So now you are just you are at the door to what you presume to be the ladies' quarters, wing of this manse. So what action are you using to get in here to find your sister? Hopefully, you've got one more tick on the to find her clock, so that's kind of what you're dealing with here. Mahia?
Zhao Min is more the door person.
Yeah, I mean, I think
That's fine.
we've already made too much noise. I'm not too concerned about more noise, so I think it's just a wreck the lot situation.
All right, go ahead.
Wait, does the guard not have a key?
Oh. Look, I mean,
if only you were
would my
there.
higher have thought of that, because I'm not sure that way would at this point. I'm in his case.
Yeah, all right.
I would guess the guard probably doesn't have a key, but I could check.
Likely. So the that is a success with a consequence. The consequence will be one more check on the guard's general alert as you kind of make some noise smashing in the door. But you are able to, you will be able to get in there and find Lalisa. Do you want to resist that check or no?
I I guess I can resist if I have plenty of stress. 5, so another point of stress.
Okay.
I'm still
Bad.
not.
Yeah, I blew the resistance roll I made, so I am almost stressed out. So I'm not gonna be able to.
Yeah, I still have quite a bit of stress to spend.
Gotcha. So you break down the door, which does draw a little bit of a ruckus, but you haven't heard anything about guards yet. But you come in to to the space, and it is a kind of a luxurious sitting room, where again it's this mix of Daggerite decor, some of the traditional large cushions, but with some imperial touches. You don't have a whole lot of time to take it all in, because as that happens, Lalisa is up and ready, and she's running. She's like, let's go. And some of the other women are like, wait, what is going on? Right. And they're more confused, not screaming in terror, but
Are they giggling?
not know what's up. So now you are in the get the hell out of here phase. Was that a finger? Yeah.
I will ask before we leave. I will ask if anyone else wants to be rescued. Totally fine if not. Just checking.
Let's see.
It's not a terrible place. I mean, this is a really nice room. You're welcome to stay if you want. But anybody who would like to be rescued, we.
No, there's general confusion, right?
No, we had to
the
make
fortune
the
roll
offer.
with a 4. I'm like, maybe, but like, so, yeah, no, I think, yeah, unless you want to try to sway someone, otherwise they're gonna
If there are any particularly attractive women, perhaps I could offer to rescue. I am almost stressed out, so I'm gonna need to indulge my vice. So soon. I mean, not right now, in the middle of the
Right.
storm, but if there is somebody who would like to be rescued for later, then that would be fine.
for that, I think we need to see if someone is coming, right? Now or later, right? Let's see. You find there is a beautiful woman there, who is she's like, oh, you're getting out of here? It's like, sure, I'll go with you, right?
Sure, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, and she runs. You'll find out later her name is Hiraya.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Hiraya. Hiraya. All right. And
Only person worse than me.
there you go.
I wouldn't say worse than you, as bad as you.
All right, but give me
I wasn't picking up women in the middle of the score.
yeah. So this is here. Give me a sway on that just to see if there's a consequence. And the benefit of doing this as an action is that you will have played to your vice during the score, which gets you XP at the end.
I got a 5 on my swap.
Oh,
All right. Yeah. So she's more than willing to come with you, but it is going to check the slight delay as they get their bearings is going to check one more on that guard clock, leaving one tick remaining before the general alert goes up. But Haraya is coming along with you. She's coming with the ride, and Lalisa gives you, and she's like, "You bitch, right? Like, let's get out of here." And you guys are taking off. All right. All right, Kintaru, your efforts to get something planted in there. You are working an asset. We'll say his name is Bagwis, Bagwis, and he's just a he's a delivery guy, but you were able to dig him up as a contact, right? And you're trying to convince him to take something in, to the kitchens, for at the compound. So what's your next move?
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
can probably take something. What do you need?
what's that now?
He's like, I could probably take something. What do you need?
Well, I just want to make sure you weren't going to forget all the things that you were supposed to deliver anyway, right? You were supposed to also have this one, right? And then I will push that memory of like, oh yeah, no, he's supposed to have that.
That's right. Okay, cool. Let's see, witches. Yes. Cool. So you're give me a roll for that, and then you can push yourself to have that be a successful outcome, right? So give me a so that he will like that. I like that. Give me a sway.
Okay. Rolling very middling today. 3, 4, 5.
And the 5. All right. 5, that'll work. But again, with the consequence, it'll go back down unless you resist. We're gonna tick off one item in that package.
Okay. I will I'll go ahead and try to resist that.
Okay.
Got a 1, 5, and a sorry. 1, 5, and a 3, so a 5.
5. Yep. 1 stress.
All right.
Cool. Okay. All right. You are escaping to hopefully find the boat. Zalman, you want to go while Greg puts his dishes in the sink?
Yes. So we are heading for the boat, which Mahaya has located.
Yep.
Or
And what's your approach at this point? Are you trying to prowl? Are you just trying to run?
at this point, we've made enough noise that I think we're just running for it.
Okay.
Unless Mahaya has a better idea.
No, I think it's time to escape.
Okay. So how are you say what action are you going to use to get out of here? You could be I suppose it would be if you could do it as trying to like rally people, which might be a command. If you're trying to remain a little quiet, it could be a prowl. If you're really just smashing things up and doing some damage, you could do a wreck. If you anticipate fighting people on the way out, we could call it a skirmish. If you're looking to pinch stuff.
How do you feel about finesse, Joe-Man?
My finesse is terrible.
Okay.
I am not subtle. I am a weapon.
All right.
Yeah. The action that you use determines kind of your approach for this whole thing.
Yes. I guess we'll try to stay stealthy and prowl one more time.
You could also postulate a flashback, to use one of your social skills to kind of find your way through.
She's low on stress.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't afford a flashback.
Okay. All right.
So I guess we'll prowl one more time. Your prowl is better than your finesse, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. 6.
Hey, well, crap. All right, that's gonna fill up the clock very quickly. All right, and you're going to find that boat back where you believe that you left it, right? So you've got the boat, and you're able to kind of sneak out very stealthily without having to knock out anyone else, and managing to avoid any guards along the way. And I think that is, that is what I had for you to get out. So you're
Sorry, Dave.
away. Yeah, I was like,
I didn't end up leading you after all. We were almost completely self-rescuing.
So no lizards?
Well, you managed to avoid. You did see lizards, but they're in the water, right? And as you pull through, you're able to slip away sufficiently. If you had run into some more complications, and if we weren't already at 9:45, I would have, there were definitely lizards to be had, and there were definitely guards to be fought, but there was also good stuff to be pilfered along the way. But you didn't do any of that, right? So, congrats. That was excellent. So we will call it there, and that was the end. There was much less blowing up and destroying of things than I was anticipating, but I think it was still a fun little escape.
Yes, it was.
Well, Zhao Min didn't want to. Zhao Min was considering setting fire to the place, but she really didn't want to hurt. There were too many civilians.
Yeah, I mean, when we first.
And it's not D&D. I mean, D&D is you just set it on fire and run away, right?
But, I mean, when we
considered it, but
when you first told us about the score yesterday, I was planning on setting it on fire on our way out. But then when most of the people there did not really want to be rescued, then we couldn't really burn it down with a bunch of hostages.
Alas. Yeah. So I think
that was Zhao Min's fault. Is she weighed burning the place down, which would have been fun. Considered the number of civilians in there and decided against it.
Yeah, I was playing it that if you had tried a little harder to convince people, that they didn't want to be there, with your influence, you probably could have swayed it in a different way. And if you had been a bit more upstarty, there probably would have been more friction with the authorities, which could have given, some additional stuff. But you decided to play nice, for the most part, right?
Well, this is also something to think about for the future. Now we know what they're up to. That's something to consider at a political level.
Yes.
Those of you who work at that level. I mean, I just bunch things.
Yep. So
can we have the care package end up in the boat that they just took, and maybe there's just some normal cookies in it.
Just some more. There's some more cookies that show up and are left in the kitchen, and the last scene is Saya saying, "Oh, those cookies gave me a headache. I don't want any more." So, all right.
I feel bad that we kind of wasted Dave's rolls, but
it's all right. He didn't get it there in time. But
that's right.
You did 2 6s to get out, so that that is that.
Yeah, and I think we were both rolling on one die too, so that was really improbable.
Yeah.
It was. Yes, we were both rolling on one die, and
I was assuming one of us was going to fail, and then we were going to have a little, running battle with the guards on our way out.
Yeah, I was anticipating that too. You're gonna have a battle and some fighting and some damage to be done, right?
I was really planning on crashing through the window on a drapery and swinging down to the
breaking stuff.
Docks.
Would have been great. I was anticipating a little bit more pilferage along the way too, but you didn't do that. So, but all right. So moving into the payoff, that means that didn't
most
make
of the
any additional money.
expensive stuff they had was Imperial crap. Why would I pilfer that?
Yeah,
You can still sell it, right?
I mean,
and you never know exactly.
we're terrible pirates.
the amount Zhao Min cares about money is pretty low.
Right.
Having it is useful and it has its uses, but she'd be more likely to pilfer something she wanted to keep than something she wanted to sell.
Right.
That's just Zhao Min.
I pilfered Hoorea. What more do you need?
Yeah, you pilfered what?
Hoorea.
Yeah, you pilfered Hoorea. It beats napkin.
Girls in the... He's worse than me.
That's
Not
correct.
by a lot. That is true.
Nice.
There's a
So,
reason neither of us two are going to be at it. Let's just say that.
Yes.
all right. So your payoff, you're gonna get 3 rep for this, which is actually say up. Okay, that's gonna move you to a strong hold on tier 1,
Good.
Awesome.
which is good. And right, you don't get any coin for the payoff because you did not pilfer anything along the way. Alas, heat. This was actually pretty smooth and quiet. I mean, you got away, which is noticeable, but I don't think that's going to generate, it's hard for me to think that apart from stealing the captive away, that this is going to do a whole lot. So you're actually overall going to end up in a better position, because you removed a wanted level by getting yourselves arrested. At least the Imperials don't care, right, about you anymore. And it's kind of back into the problem of daggerites among daggerites. So well done. Heat effectively reduced, right, through that. Let's see. And let's see what else. Payoff, heat, entanglements. All right, we've got okay. Gotcha. So someone is going to get interrogated, but that's going to be on the sides. It's not going to impact you too much. We'll sort that out as a narrative detail. Probably the Kabasagan are going to grab someone nearby and rough them up to try to figure out what the hell you guys did as you ran off. Where did you go? So on and so forth. But you do have bigger fish to fry, which is going off to do the ritual, to wed Lalisa to Susi Tabar. So you are ready to do that now. So I think that'll be the next score, and that'll be the season finale in a couple of weeks. Hopefully we can get a good group together for that one. All right. Excellent. All right. That was a bit smoother than I thought, but Arcane.
Very self-rescuing.
Yeah, very self-rescuing.
XP.
Go up. Oh, XP. Yeah, let's do that. Thank you. Sorry. All right, let's start with crew. Let's see. Did you execute a successful transport, expedition, exorcism, ritual, or recovery operation? You recovered yourselves, right?
Recovered, yeah.
Yeah, you recovered. I would say that is. Contend with challenges above your current station. It ended up being pretty smooth because you didn't encounter the tough things. You managed to slip away, but I think I still have to give it to you because you were escaping a tier 2 facility, right?
Yeah.
Begrudgingly, but bolster your crew's reputation. I think so, because this was a pretty daring escape right from under their noses. They're not going to like that, right? And express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
I mean, rescuing the bride is our goal.
That is true. All right. All right, so you're making way along. And actually, now that I'm looking at your crew XP, you have a crew upgrade kind of in the in the waiting here, so we can sort that out maybe when there's next people, or if you want to take advantage of that upgrade now for
we should have more people here to do that.
Yeah, you can think about the two more. You could take a special ability, or check any of the two boxes on their the layer, the quality of your gear, training cohorts, etc. All right. Individual XP. Mahia. And you prefer Mahia or Mahia?
Challenge with deception, influence, and sheer charisma. I mean, we did, this whole thing was deception.
Yep. I think so.
Express beliefs drives heritage or background. Again, same as with the crew, rescuing the Dadu as, our beliefs and heritage pretty much summed up.
Yep.
And then struggled with issues from your vice or traumas.
Yes.
You did.
I did.
You did.
So
Haraya. Right.
I will level up in prowess and put a point in finesse.
Good.
Okay. All right. Zalmin.
Okay, let's see. Address the challenge through a deliberate channeling of the storm of emotions within you.
Hello there.
Not checking for the key because I was so. They're not checking for the key because I was so mad.
Yeah. Fair enough. That sounds good. I'll buy it. And you did get
Special beliefs drives heritage or background. I'd say yes.
Yeah, I think so.
And I didn't pick up any girl.
No.
No, you did not.
You didn't pick up anyone during the rescue. What an oversight.
She shares.
Yeah.
And
well,
that means that I feel prowess, and I'm going to give myself a finesse because that was driving me nuts. And I feel playbook, and I'm going to take temporary ink.
Dang. All right. Cool. You're taking.
What that does is once per score, you may grant another character use of your action rating in skirmish or rare.
Cool.
I've been eyeing that one.
Excellent. That's
So
pretty.
it seems like the sort of teamworky things I would do.
Yes. That's great. I like it. That's a good ability. Kintaro, do you have access to your sheet? Do you want to do your XP or just want to note?
I think it's the same sort of issues as addressing an issue, addressing something with stealth, etc., charisma,
Yep.
which I believe Kantado did with
Yeah.
all the manipulation and talking with people.
Absolutely.
I don't think there was any sort of duress roll, was there? Or any desperate?
No.
No, we didn't get to any desperate actions.
Yeah.
It was a little too smooth, your getaway. So,
Yeah, and I guess the only time about like expressing beliefs, etc., that would have been an interaction with Lady Cinta about the
Yep.
sort of like, dear beloved cousins and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I agree with that. And you did not struggle with your vice.
Yeah, that was just in downtime, indulging, so no struggling.
Yeah. All right. You got a couple.
To be fair, I didn't struggle with my vice either. I dove into it head first. There was no struggle.
No struggle.
Whatsoever.
There was no struggle. That works. So awesome. Okay. Well, there we go. All right, you've escaped and head off to conduct the ritual next time. So that'll be 2 weeks from now. Are you guys able to join then?
I am great. I think that's a week before your.
Oh no, I'm not going to Spav is February, and anyway, I'll be back on a Thursday.
So
Okay.
23rd?
I remember which month it was.
Yeah, is that 2 weeks from now?
Yeah,
2 weeks from now is fine.
Yeah, no plans for 2 weeks.
23rd. Cool. All right. Then I will I'll circulate it. We'll look forward to doing that then. Excellent.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank you
Looking
guys.
forward
for
to
joining.
it.
It was fun.
I had to have her stop and wrap her hands because I know what punching
Yeah,
somebody
no,
without wrapped
that
hands
was
can
great.
do, but it was also kind of
Fantastic.
funny.
That was good.
She's
I was
also
wondering
had
why you were going for the
one of her
napkin.
sets of fighting wraps she didn't manage, was taken from her, so she's kind of mad about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's not something you would only have one of.
Right.
They go around fairly quick.
But they took your nice ones, so
Just a little bit.
alas.
Those were nice ones.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for joining tonight. Yeah,
Yes,
good
thanks for
time.
running. It was much fun.
Awesome. Yeah,
Excellent.
that was awesome.
Great.
Good night, all.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good night,
Good night.
everyone.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Wow, that's long. That was a long. Didn't have too much to do. That was largely over to them, which is fine. They've not been able to make like the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 sessions. So that was good. That was all more about them. And I got a good opportunity here to be working on the sock. We're getting close to the end of the cuff. We're going to do 2 more sides of this, and then I think we're good. We're supposed to have gone about 3 centimeters or a little over an inch, and that's about where we are. So we'll be able to start then now with the leg and doing the color work. Theoretically, I guess that'll be tomorrow. So that's kind of the plan for the rest of the week. I think tomorrow will be normal. We'll see. We'll have a chance to read some more manga. We only had a chance to read Bleach today, but that's how it goes. I had a late start because of my late meeting. So we can't raid Amu because she's usually wrapping up around 10. In fact, there's a high danger of her attempting to raid over here in case I don't get out of here fast. So, not that she doesn't have better places to go. Who can we go raid? Let's go raid Vincent Sogal. Maybe that'll be where Amu ends up too. All right, we're gonna go raid Vincent Sogal, doing some crafting and co-working, I guess. Oh, interesting. She's studying something. Co-working first and then crafting. All right, well, let's go hang out with Vincent Sogal. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Thank you for sticking around with all the Blades in the Dark stuff. Always a different time, but usually kind of fun. And again, it's a good time just to work on some stuff. So hope you all have a good rest of your week. Again, we'll be streaming tomorrow. It'll be a longer stream tomorrow, probably. We'll have more time to do knitting. And again, I think we'll be starting the color work. We'll see how that goes. So thanks. Have a good one. Stay safe. Be well. And I will catch y'all next time. Bye for now.